Okay, ding-dongs. If you don't subscribe to Jeremy Ice and Fire, you're gonna spend the night in the box.
Aren't cooey.
Something's different. I am changing. I don't know if I like who I'm becoming.
Boyd, there are a lot of people wanting to know what happened down there.
Mom, where's Dad? Why isn't he back yet?
Tabitha, we need to talk.
It means everything they showed us is real. I think they're doing it to make us afraid.
Well, then it worked. There is something ancient here. And it's feeding off our suffering, and it doesn't stop.
We're losing. We're running out of time, and we still don't know the goddamn rules. There is no way to fight back against those things. Everything we've done, every sacrifice we've made, none of us are going anywhere.
You think you're some kind of hero? You're a monster.
Lord, please protect us in this dark place where evil roams so freely. This we ask in your name. Amen.
One way or another, the truth always comes out.
I would make sure it doesn't.
You're getting so close now, but I'm afraid you're running out of time.
You remind me of someone I could have helped. I don't get to get that back.
Are you kidding me? I didn't mean to upset you. I'm sorry. What did you mean to do that? Julie, stop. Finding the lighthouse could be what gets everyone home.
It's not.
I don't know. I'll try something else.
Not if you're dead.
No, are you?
And welcome all to the From Season 4, Episode 3 Pregame Show. Ladies and gentlemen, here we are. Someone just echoed the exact sentiment that I was just thinking a few minutes ago before I went live in the chat. Someone had the exact sentiment. Can't believe after this year wait, we are already heading into Episode 3, right? It is crazy, right? I mean, it does feel like the season just started. And here we are already heading into the third episode, where I get the feeling from Episode 3 on are where things are going to start getting even more juicy, especially now that the body of Jim has been discovered. Sophia has well infiltrated the town. I get the feeling from here on out, it's just going to continue to get crazier and crazier. And I am here for it. I am here for it. But welcome one, welcome all. We are going to hang out for the next 2.5 hours or so while we wait for the next episode to drop. Episode 3 will be dropping at midnight Eastern Standard Time. Of course, that is if you live in the States and if you are a direct member of MGM Plus. If you are a member of MGM Plus through Amazon and you live in the States, you get it like a few hours later. I don't know why they stagger the release, but it's just something they do, unfortunately. I wish they didn't. And I feel even worse for people that live in Canada and other parts of the globe who don't get it until Monday sometimes, which is crazy. But if you live in the States and you have access to MGM Plus, you will be getting access to the newest episode right at midnight Eastern Standard Time every Saturday night, or technically every Sunday morning, really. But that's what we're going to do. We are going to hang out for, again, 2.5 hours or so. We are less than 2.5 hours now, 2 hours and 24 minutes away from episode 3 hitting our screens. And we want to hear from you guys. What are some of your predictions heading into episode 3? What were some of your favorite moments from the first 2 episodes? What were some of your least favorite moments? We want to hear from you guys. What did you think about the season so far? And where do you think the season is going? But before we do that, we got to say what is up to the awesome chat. And of course, we got a new member, EMM2324, has become a member of the channel. Thank you so much, M, for becoming a member. And of course, all members have access to the custom Fromville emoji. So be sure to spam them at your leisure. And thank you so much for joining the channel. I very much appreciate that. I'm already going to have to hand out some glitter. We already owe some glitter, folks. We already owe a few glitter bombs. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for becoming a member of the channel. Very much appreciate that. Let's see who else we got in here, shall we? Let's see who else we got. I see my brother Ando's in the house. We are back. We are back. We are officially back. From is here. It is in full swing. And again, I get the feeling this is going to be that season that a lot of us have been waiting for. Our awesome co-host PM will be here in a little bit. She just running a few minutes late, but she'll be joining us whenever she is ready. And we're going to hang out over the next, again, 2.5 hours or so while we wait for the next episode to drop. And of course, in the meantime, we want to hear from you guys. We want to hear what you thought of episode 1 and 2, and we want to hear some of your predictions for episode 3. Let us know in the chat. We got Joyce in the house. What is up, Joyce? We got Gabba, Alexa. We got Xavier in the house. What is up, Xavier? Always good to see you, my friend. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome. We got Colin in the house. We got officially him in the house. I miss that Tabitha, says Ando. I mean, it's been pretty interesting. Tabitha has already been catching a lot of flack from the fandom. There has been significant portions of the fandom that haven't been too happy with Tabitha so far this season. And I can understand why to a certain extent. I feel like Tabitha, I certainly wasn't a big fan of how she treated Jade, trying to pawn all of this onto Jade's lap. Like this is all his fault. Like she wasn't right there with him the whole time, telling him to play the song and helping him figure it out. So yeah, she definitely didn't treat Jade too well, and I think a lot of people, weren't too happy about that, which is understandable. Jade is, Jade's a huge fan favorite. So yeah, I guess it'll be interesting to see how Tabitha continues to handle things as she goes forward. Will we see her continue to regress, or will we see her kind of find that inner strength and pull out of this for her children's sake? And I get a feeling this episode is going to be a very telling episode in terms of where her character goes. And if any of you have seen the episode 3 trailer, which we will play again in a little bit, it looks like we got some interesting Tabitha and Henry scenes coming in episode 3. So that should be pretty fun. Looking forward to that. We got the man in yellow in the house. What is up, man in yellow? We got official Rico Finesser in the house. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We got David in the building. We got the Road Prince in the building. We got Starlight in the building. Jane, everybody in the building. What is up, everyone? Good to see each and every one of you. We got Golden Child. Are we? I'm not watching, and I don't want to know. I'll check it out after this probably. But we got bring Jim back. Again, a lot of people want to see Jim back. A lot of people think Jim is back. I mean, we saw that apparition, that ghost Jim at the end of episode 2. And it was pretty interesting. The fandom is kind of split with a lot of, some people thinking it was really ghost Jim and some thinking it isn't. We did a poll last week on our last week's stream, and it was pretty interesting. The yeses took it like 63 to 30 something percent. But yeah, I don't know. I'm still very sus. as to whether or not that is the real Jim. There's a lot of red flags, but a lot of people want to see Jim back. A lot of people want to see Jim be brought back fully, and who knows what this show is capable of. Who knows? Let's see what else we got. Yeah, the tween in white is crazy. I mean, it's no longer the boy in white. He very much is the teen in white, or pretty soon I'll have my first beer in white. I guess you could say, like, he's grown up. And again, that always happens whenever you cast child actors in long-running series like this. You're going to get to that awkward phase where they start to grow very rapidly, very fast, and it just looks off story-wise. So yeah, as different as the boy in white looked in season 3, he looks like a completely different actor in season 4. Completely different. So yeah, he is the teen in white. Yeah, they never give me notifications. YouTube's notification system is notoriously lousy. That's why I always try to encourage people, if you are watching on YouTube, also get into the Discord as well. Because if the YouTube notifications don't work, I always put a link directly for every stream that I'm going to do right into the Discord, and I hit a notification so everybody in the Discord can get notified as to when I'm going live. Because I know a lot of people don't get notifications on YouTube. So if that is ever happening to you or anybody else, hop into the Discord and always check the Fromville channel and the live streams channel. That will always have our latest streams, and I usually always put them in there a good 30 minutes before I even go live. So that you'll probably get notified before anyone else if you're in the Discord as to when we're going live. Because again, I know how much YouTube notifications can fucking suck. They can really suck. I'm so excited for tonight's episode. It says, howdy, Helen. I am too. This episode is going to be insane. I think it is going to be. Again, just based off the limited information we have just from the episode 3 trailer, which I'll play again now that we have, it seems like we have more people rolling on in. I'll play the episode 3 trailer, and we'll take a look at it. But, it doesn't show us much, but it definitely, gives you the feeling like this is going to be an interesting episode in terms of plot progression. It doesn't seem like this is just going to be another character development episode. It seems like we're actually going to get some good plot development in this episode. And there has been some recent interesting images that have just been released, some Jade images from episode 3, and we're going to take a look at those as well. And I want to get you guys' thoughts and theories on it. Doesn't really show much, but they are kind of interesting. So I'll pull that up. But first, we got Samuel for $5. Thank you so much, Samuel, for the 5. Very, very much appreciate you, my friend. And, I know there's no question or message attached to it, but if there's anything that you want us to dive into, anything that you want us to talk about, please let me know in the chat, my friend, and we will definitely talk about it. Let me know. But thank you so much for the 5. Very much appreciate it. And I owe you a glitter bomb. Glitter bombs in the chat. I guess I got to get a glitter bomb emoji. I did get a request for a glitter bomb emoji. That is one that I have yet to make. So I could probably do that. Tabitha is in denial and delusional. That's why she keeps reincarnating. The 47 revelation also be the reincarnated can also be Jade reincarnated 4 times and Tabitha reincarnated 7 times so far, because she can't right now. And I guess that's going to be an interesting kind of question. How many different reincarnations have there been? I mean, are the dates on the lighthouse kind of telling in terms of how many cycles there have been? Like, we see all the different dates that are on the lighthouse. Does that mean that there have been exactly that many reincarnations, that each one of those dates is the date of a cycle? I wouldn't be surprised if that's what it is. Well, I believe there's 7 or 8 dates on that, on the lighthouse. And I suppose that could definitely account for enough time to be a few centuries easily. Because we do know this has gone back centuries based on what Tabitha said in episode 1, that they've been coming back for literally centuries, she says. So yeah, again, that's always an interesting question. If the dates in the lighthouse are, accurate, do they each represent a cycle? And if that is the case, could that give us the number of how many reincarnations there have been over the years? I don't know, but definitely a good question and an interesting theory for sure. Let's see what else we got. In my opinion, Jim's going to have a rebirth at the Lake of Tears. And I mean, the Lake of Tears have fully been brought into the storyline this season. And the image I'm going to show in a little bit is definitely going to invoke some of that. Even though it looks like it's an image of a character in the Brundles, just the regular Brundles, it still invokes that kind of Lake of Tears imagery. And you'll see what I mean in a minute. But yeah, David says, in my opinion, they're going to have Jim's going to have a rebirth at the Lake of Tears. Maybe everyone is resurrected. And like, as Jade said, they'll go home with them. I mean, who knows? I guess it's really hard to tell where this thing's going to go. But I mean, I feel like a lot of stuff is possible. A lot of those there. I mean, now that they are literally bringing the Lake of Tears into the show, I guess the question is, what exactly is the Lake of Tears? Is it the exact kind of Lake of Tears from Ethan's story? Is it something similar to that, where the Lake of Tears has the power to bring someone back to life? Because at least that was the story that Ethan and Julie were telling each other at the beginning of the series. When the whole season first starts and we first are introduced to the Matthews family, the first thing that we hear, the first little bit of dialogue we hear from the entire family is Julie and Ethan telling this story with the finger puppets, talking about how the secret fairies are going to show up and bring Norman to the Lake of Tears and heal him, bring him back to life. So when you hear the Lake of Tears being brought again back into the actual narrative, yeah, you wonder, could this be used as some kind of Lazarus pit, some kind of resurrection pool? Lazarus pit for all of our Batman fans out there. I'm sure our Batman fans know what a Lazarus pit is. It's basically a pool of water in which you can bring someone back to life in. So yeah, what exactly is the Lake of Tears? What is the representation of the Lake of Tears going to look like on the show? Is it going to be an actual lake that can bring people to life? Or is the Lake of Tears a little bit more of a metaphorical description, and we're going to see some, a symbol of it, I guess is the question? Or will it be an actual lake? But I'd love to know what you guys think. Will we see an actual lake of tears? Or could it potentially be a symbolic representation for something in Fromville that they need to find, maybe? I don't know. I wouldn't mind it being an actual lake. I would not mind it being an actual lake, especially considering we just saw these two new shots. Now, these are from episode 3, the upcoming episode 3. And it looks like we got 2 new shots of Jade. One of him, seemingly trying to commune with this place. Maybe Jade's trying to learn more in this shot. We do know that Jade is definitely on a quest for answers. It seems like whatever information they got at the end of season 3, although it seemed to be a lot of information in terms of telling them who they are, that they've been reincarnated and all of this, it seems like they still don't quite remember everything. So we have seen that it looks like Jade is going to continue to go looking for answers until he feels like he's learned everything. Like no stone has been unturned, because he still feels like there's more that they don't know, which of course there is. So it looks like we're seeing Jade here. And again, I have imagined this is just him trying to maybe commune with this place in hopes of getting another memory come back, maybe. It's just very, very John Locke-like, when John Locke kind of just stands in the jungle and waits for the rain to kind of hit him when he predicts the rain. But yeah, interesting shot. But the next one is even more kind of symbolic in terms of the Lake of Tears. This is the next shot we see of Jade down in his skivvies out there in what I presume is probably just the Brundles. I mean, I don't think we're going to see the Lake of Tears as early as episode 3. So if I had to just guess, I imagine that this is Jade laying in the Brundles, or maybe even that new body of water that they did find. They did find that new body of water at the new settlement, the new ruined settlement, Cannibal Village, as we like to call it. But just based on the look of this water, the murkiness of it, you can see the forest kind of, reflecting off the ripples. If I had to guess, this is most likely Jade in the Brundles. Maybe, again, trying to commune with this place, trying to kind of meditate in a sense so he can learn a little bit more about this place. But if I had to guess, I'd say this is Brundles. Probably the Brundles. But yeah. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. What is the Lake of Tears going to look like? Oh, and we have Nicole Panda for $13.99. Thank you so much, Nicole Panda. Very, very much appreciate you. And we see the spider emoji. And of course, we all know, at least most of us who have been here for a while, we know Nikki loves the giant spider theory. Nikki very much wants to see a giant spider on the show. And she even found something very early on in season 2, episode 1, that almost looked like a giant spider in the background when Boyd was running through the woods. It's still up for debate as to what that really was. I know fans still debate it, at least here on our channel they have. I still think it might have just been a camera rig that might have kind of fallen into the shot, but you never know. It could have been something else. But I would love for Nicole Panda to get her giant spider. And I know there's a lot of other people. I know a lot of people really want to see a giant spider. And especially now with the Lake of Tears being brought back into the fold, I can totally understand why the spider theories are going to pick up even more so now, because that was also part of Ethan's dream. Ethan's dream wasn't just him seeing a Lake of Tears. It was him seeing a giant spider descend down on it as well, like we've seen in some of the drawings of the giant spider kind of hovering over the Lake of Tears. We've seen a few different drawings of that. So yeah, I totally understand why the spider theories are definitely picking up a lot more now, ever since the Lake of Tears has been reintroduced into the story. Who knows? Who knows? I guess it'll be interesting to see. I guess it will be interesting to see. Yeah, is Norman just normal man equals Jim? Hey, I like that. I actually think that's pretty interesting. I think that's not a bad interpretation. Normal man. Jim very much was just a normal man. Interesting one. Very, very interesting one. I don't not like that. I do not like that at all. I think that's an interesting one. No spiders. Eek. Yeah, I mean, some want some spiders, some don't. I guess it's going to be interesting to see which way it goes. But I know a lot of people are really looking forward to seeing some kind of giant spider. So we shall see. We shall see. Will we get a giant spider or not? Yeah, I wouldn't want to swim in the Brundles either. I wouldn't either. And again, thank you so much, Nikki, for the $13.99. Oh, I owe you also a glitter bomb. Glitter bombs in the chat. Thank you guys. Thank you so much for all the support. I really do appreciate it. You guys really are awesome. But yeah, I don't think that's a good question. I guess that could be our first poll. That could be our first poll for the night. I would love to get that nice. Whoops. Let's X that. What would you guys do? Would you guys swim in the Brundles? I've seen the Brundles. And not only have I seen the Brundles, but more importantly, I've seen Fromville at night. And I've seen the season 4 trailer, which is also an indication that there's way more shit out there than just the monsters, which we knew. They've been teasing that for a while, that the monsters are just the tip of the spear, and that there's worse things out there than the monsters. So knowing all of that, knowing that this mysterious body of water is in this place, I don't know. I don't know if I would want to sleep in the Brundles. I do not know if I would want to sleep in the Brundles. I don't know. Yeah, I know I wouldn't swim in it. Yeah, but Diana wouldn't swim in it either. I don't think I would. Don't think I would. Well, we know it's spider webs somewhere out in the forest, because Boyd and Sarah were covered in the webs. Yeah, we did see the pretty big webs. I mean, after Boyd and Sarah's tent was dragged towards the end of season 1, which, again, another mystery on the show. We still have no idea what that was, what was dragging Boyd and Sarah's tent. We have no idea what that was. Some people think it was a giant spider. But we still have that to figure out, what was dragging the tent. And yeah, what was up with all those spider webs? Were those spider webs made by the spiders that we already see? Because when we see Boyd get attacked by the spiders, he's lucky enough to only get attacked by some of the smaller ones. Some of the ones on the ground and some of the ones coming out of that hive were way bigger than the ones that he got on him. So I totally understand, like, how big could these things get? How big do those spiders eventually get? Were those just babies that were biting Boyd? Maybe. I don't know. Because there were some bigger ones there coming out of that kind of hive thing, of that fake Abby. There were a lot bigger ones that were landing on him. So yeah, I you definitely see evidence on the show for giant spider activity. Hell, we've seen big spiders with our own 2 eyes. So yeah, it's there's a reason why it's a popular theory, like you totally understand why it's a popular theory, because there's evidence to back it up. Once you have evidence to back it up like that, it's at least warrants a discussion. Will Kenny survive the show? I really hope he does. I think he will, personally. Like, I do think Kenny will survive the show. I think after everything they've thrown at Kenny, killing off his mother, killing off his father, kind of losing Christy when her fiance showed up, Kenny has just lost every season more and more and more and more. And then for them to kill him off too would be so tragic, just wiping off the entire family line, the whole family wiped off the map if Kenny gets killed too. So and not only that, but we've seen a lot of foreshadowing for Kenny one day taking over for Boyd. And I do think that's probably going to happen. I don't think Boyd's going to survive. I think Boyd will make it probably to the end, but I do think Boyd is probably going to die saving everybody in some manner. But when that happens, I would love for Kenny to kind of pick up where Boyd leaves off and finish the job and lead everybody out and finish what Boyd started. So I am really hoping that Kenny's going to survive the show. And I think he will. I think Kenny's going to survive. But I could be wrong. He could die this episode for all we know. He could die this episode for all we know. But yeah, I think he's going to live. I think Kenny's going to live. I think Kenny is going to live. Yeah, but you grow some crazy. I mean, who knows what's possible in this freaking place, right? Well, we know Fatima's doing it, right? We know Fatima's, we hear Donna call Fatima, the green thumb in season 2, I believe it was. So we know Fatima was growing some herb for sure. She was growing some cannabis. Absolutely. I would skip rocks in the Brundles. That I would do. And what I would do in the Brundles is fish. I would definitely go fishing in the Brundles. I would want to see what kind of weird, fucking messed up fish are in this place. And who knows? Maybe there's nothing. Maybe there's just regular pond fish, or if anything, it's another source of food. Maybe you find, just a few regular bass in there, regular freshwater bass or something. But I would definitely skip some rocks on the Brundles, and I would at least cast a rod into the Brundles once or twice just to see. But would I swim in it? Nah, yeah, way too stagnant looking, right? Like it just looks polluted. It just looks stagnant and nasty and dank and just gross. That's one of those kind of little swamp waters that you walk into and you walk out just looking like you have a ghillie suit on and you're ready to be a sniper. You're just covered in fucking shit. So yeah, I don't know if I would swim in the Brundles. I don't know. Yeah, if I can't see underwater, I don't want to go in the water. That's actually not a bad rule to live by, Sandflyer. That's actually a pretty good rule to live by. If I can't open my eyes underwater and see, it's not water I want to fucking be in. That good words to live by. I think I'm going to have to adopt that for the rest of my life. That's actually very, very, very good. I like that. Yeah, if you can't fucking open your eyes in it and see, stay the fuck out. Yeah, no thanks. No Brundles for me. Killed a spider the other day and I'm still not over it. Oh, man. Yeah, it's too bad. Too bad. Sometimes those spiders get it. But yeah, would definitely not be swimming in those Brundles. No. But we got Katrina Marie for $24.999. Thank you so much, Katrina Marie, for the $9.99. Very, very much appreciate you. Definition of the FU Ken. F.U. Hen, Kenny's government, everlasting. Consistent definition of the name Lou, enduring / main character. Kenny ain't going nowhere. And I love that. I love that breakdown of like the definition of what his name might actually mean. And even though, some have, I believe his name also translates to deputy in some translations as well. I really feel like Kenny's going to be one of the characters that will survive. He's been through so much, and there's been a lot of foreshadowing for him taking over for Boyd at some point. After everything Kenny's been through and how good of a survivor he seems to have become, like season 1 Kenny, if season 1 Kenny didn't evolve and grow up, I would say he's toast. He's absolutely toast. He's going to die at some point. But by the time we get to season 3, Kenny really has showed a lot of maturity, that he really has grown up a lot, and he's starting to become a little bit more of a leader in town. So I think he's definitely on the path to one day taking over for Boyd once Boyd, dies, whenever that happens. Because I do think Boyd is going to die at some point. Again, probably not till the end. But I could totally see Boyd dying in a heroic manner with Kenny taking over. But yeah, I'm with you, Trina Marie, excuse me. I don't think Kenny's going anywhere. I think Kenny's one of the few characters that I think is going to make it. One of the few I think is going to be here in the end. But thank you so much for the $9.99. And I owe you a glitter bomb as well. Here is the glitter bomb. Yeah, I like Kenny. I mean, I wasn't a huge fan of Kenny in season 1. Not even so much in season 2, really. Again, but I am a fan of characters that have really good character development over a long period of time. Like over the course of a few different seasons, seeing characters really grow, seeing characters really evolve and kind of come into their own. That's always a fascinating journey to watch, because then you can kind of go back to like season 1 and you can look at season 1 Jade, season 1 Kenny, season 1 a lot of the characters, and you see how different they are now in season 4, how much they've grown, how much some of them have evolved. Not all of them, but some of them have. But yeah, that's always it's always fun for me. That is always fun for me. We got a 10 for Diana. Thank you so much, Diana. Just because Katrina's message made me feel so much better about Kenny's fate. Well, thank you so much for that. I very, very much appreciate the 10. Thank you so much. But yeah, again, I feel good about Kenny's fate, and yeah, Katrina Marie definitely, is bringing up a very good point as to why Kenny will probably survive. So yeah, definitely gives me more faith. Definitely gives me more faith. I think Kenny's going to be one of the few that will survive all of it. But again, I could be wrong. Again, he could literally go this episode for all we know. But I'm hoping that our boy Kenny's going to pull it out. But thank you so much, Diana, for the $10, and I owe you a glitter bomb. Glitter bombs in the chat. Thank you, guys. All right. Let's see what else we got. Boyd is going to get turned into a monster, says Chill Frog TV. Ooh, interesting. Now, I have been wondering this, not so much like in Boyd's specific case, but I have wondered, like going into the show, are we ever going to see a human get turned into a monster? Or is that even possible? Or were these monsters created under like a very specific, circumstances that can't really be replicated? That's my question, I guess. Is it possible to turn a human into one of these monsters? We've seen that these monsters can die and get reborn. So they do really have a certain degree of just straight up immortality to them, that you can kill them and burn their bodies and they're going to fucking come back. So they are pretty much immortal. But I guess, can they make more monsters? Is it possible to turn humans into monsters? Or was that done under a very specific circumstance with that very specific ritual and the sacrifice and everything that went into that? And maybe that's something that just can't be recreated. So I have always wondered that. Is it even possible to turn a human into a monster? But yeah, if that was going to happen to anyone, it being Boyd would probably be one of the more devastating characters. That's for sure. This is interesting as well. Dark Lord 789, just as we're talking about humans turning into monsters, another awesome comment. What if Jim's resurrection in the lake, but there's a catch? He becomes a monster. That's a very interesting theory. I've not heard that one before. That's a new theory. I've not heard that anywhere. But that's interesting. Oh, that's interesting that if, say they go through this crazy long journey, and they go, Ethan goes through all of this kind of quest, this journey to find the Lake of Tears, to eventually bring Jim back, only for there to be a catch. I would love that. Again, I feel like, you guys know me. I always like when there's a stake to things, when there's a consequence to things. There needs to be a price that these characters are going to pay for meddling in things like this, for meddling with life and death, for meddling with time travel. There needs to be a consequence. There needs to be a price that they have to pay. I would very much be disappointed if this was one of those things where Julie can just kind of go back in time, change something, and there's no consequences to the future. That would be very disappointing. There needs to be a cost. There needs to be a price that these characters pay for meddling in kind of cosmic aspects of the universe like this, like meddling with time and meddling with stuff like with life and death. These are cosmic aspects of the universe that kind of are that are just naturally occurring. Meddling with stuff like that needs to have a price. It needs to have some kind of dire consequence. So yeah, I like this. Them finally finding the Lake of Tears, bringing Jim back to life, only for there to be a devastating side effect where Jim isn't fully himself when he comes back. He's a monster. I like that. It's a nice ironic twist of fate too. And again, I'm just a big fan of that kind of storytelling. The kind of storytelling where our hero does complete the journey. They do complete the quest. They do, complete whatever they have to do. They do defeat the evil, but it comes at a huge cost to them and everyone around them. I am a fan of that kind of storytelling. There needs to be stakes. There needs to be real stakes in the show. There needs to be real consequences in the show. Bad stuff needs to happen to some of these characters in order to win, I think. So yeah, I like that. And thank you so much for the, I already gave out the glitter. Sorry. I already gave out the glitter. I thought I missed a glitter. I did not miss a glitter. There we go. Yeah, I think Boyd story walked with that torch. Oh, now that's an interesting possibility. Again, we did see, it was very interesting. Boyd walks into the ruins and he can't really access them. But then he remembers, shit, last time I was in here, I had this freaking torch in my hand. So he has the presence of mind to go back and pick up the torch. But I guess that's a good question, Ty. When Boyd steps in there with the torch lit, is it simply just the torch that gave him access to this little place, to this dungeon? Or was that a means of story walking? Was he slipping through time in some manner? I think that's a very interesting possibility. Absolutely. Absolutely. What if Boyd and Julie go to the ruins together with the torch in hand and bring Randall for backup to pull Julie out if need be? They never pair the right people together on the show. That is a good point, Xavier. I mean, I am finally glad that we're seeing Jade and Boyd finally team up. I feel like that's been a long time coming. Jade and Boyd are two very vital aspects of the storyline, and I get the feeling they're going to be very vital aspects to solving whatever this thing is. And characters like that, you want to see interact. You want to see those kind of characters have screen time together, have scenes together. So yeah, I'm glad that they're finally doing it. But yeah, you're right. Up until this point, it seems like they're just not pairing the right characters together to get that right kind of mix of, what they need to, really make progress, I guess you could say. And I guess you could argue that they started to put the right people together towards the end of season 3. Putting Jade, Tabitha, and Jim together, like if those three weren't together, they never would have solved the numbers. They never would have figured out what those numbers were, that it was really a song. Like it took all three of them working together to do that. Not just Jade, not just Tabitha, and not just Jim. Like they all contributed. So yeah, I definitely can see that, where you've got to kind of pair the right characters together in order to get the right answers. So that's another reason why I have a lot of hope for Boyd and Jade teaming up. Boyd and Jade. But yeah, we shall see. We shall see. Let's see what else we got. What if the boy is Julie's brother who died in their reality, but comes from another reality in which he lived to become a teenager, and he was a story walker like Julie? Thomas, the boy on the phone who spoke to Jim. So Thomas, who was supposed to be their other brother who died. Okay, interesting. Is there a possibility where there is a parallel reality where Thomas didn't die, and that's who was contacting Julie through the radio? That's an interesting theory. I don't think I've heard that one before. Interesting, very interesting. I mean, when it comes to like multiple realities and split realities and parallel universes, that is not something I really am hoping that the show is going to dive like super deep into. And I guess that's why I was a little nervous about the whole time travel aspect being introduced into the show, because it could get a little convoluted depending on how they play it. But who knows? Again, it seems like season 4 is one of those seasons where we're heading into like just completely new territory and getting some of these answers. So things that I would have thought aren't possible at all on the show during the first 3 seasons, now all of a sudden I'm rethinking, okay, maybe some other stuff is possible just based on what we're seeing so far. So I don't know. Is there a possibility where there is some kind of split realities? I know PM has, a really good theory on the split reality thing. And I know she's working on an awesome video on it, and definitely check that out when she releases it, because she's got some pretty good ideas on that topic. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not quite sure where they're going to go with the whole story walking, with the whole, multiple realities thing. Who knows what the show is going to do? Part of me wants to hope that they're going to keep it not simple, but a little more horror based than sci-fi based, just based on what we've seen up until this point. The show has very much been more horror supernatural than sci-fi. Even though it's listed as a sci-fi horror show, it's very much been more horror than it has sci-fi. And I hope that trend continues. I like the horror and supernatural aspects of the show more than I do the few sci-fi elements. But who knows? Who knows what's going to happen with this frickin' show? I suppose anything is possible. Absolutely anything is possible. Let's see what else we got. I really want a metalsmith into a town to make some body armor and some weapons. I mean, it could come in handy if nothing else. I mean, it might not, having weapons to take them out on the offense might not be, super useful if it's just going to risk, another member down becoming pregnant with one of these monsters like Fatima was. But in terms of like making armor and stuff, be able to defend yourself from these monsters, yeah, that would definitely be a valuable thing. That would be a valuable thing. Let's see what else we got. Scrolling down. Do you think the writers would really go to parallel realities, given a lot of what people did not like in Lost? I am hoping that From does stay away from Lost. I feel like From has already borrowed way too much as is from Lost in terms of a lot of the parallels and some of the similarities, similar story points. I feel like they've already gone to that well too much as is. So I would love for the ending of From to be totally different from the ending of Lost. So me personally, no, I'd rather they stay away from that kind of thing. But that's just my personal opinion. I would rather the ending of From be completely different from the ending of Lost, as far different as it possibly could. And this is coming from someone who actually liked the Lost ending. I didn't have a problem with the Lost ending. I actually enjoyed it. I got what they were going for. But still, I very much want From to have a completely different ending. I want these two shows to be very separate, at least in terms of storytelling. I know they're both, mystery box shows and both have the same executive producers. But I would love for the ending of From to be a little bit different from the ending of Lost. But that's just me. That is just me. When is the new episode coming out on Amazon? Now, apparently, again, this is one of those kind of delayed releases that MGM Plus does. If you are a member of MGM Plus directly to MGM Plus, and you live in the States, you'll get it right at midnight Eastern Standard Time, which is less than 2 hours from now. But if you are a member of MGM Plus through Amazon Prime, you'll get it a few hours later. I believe it's 2 or 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So 2 or 3 hours after the regular MGM subscribers will get it. I don't know why they do that. I really wish they wouldn't do that. To be honest, it'd be a lot nicer if they could kind of get these releases a little bit closer, at least, for everyone who's a paid member. But yeah, that's why I kind of always tell people, if you are going to subscribe to MGM Plus, your best bet is to subscribe right to MGM Plus itself. Don't go through Amazon. Go right to MGM Plus and you'll get it sooner. But yeah, if you are a member through Amazon uploads it. I believe it's 2 or 3 hours later than the regular site. But it's unfortunate. I wish they had the releases a little bit closer. Let's see what else we got. For the love of God, please, let's get rid of some of the red shirts, aka background characters. I am with you there, Xavier. And this is another thing that PM's been wanting to have happen for a very long time now. Because yeah, especially after finding out exactly how many people are in Fromville, like we got 47 people in here. And out of that 47, 15 of them are main and secondary characters. The rest of them are pretty much all background characters. I mean, I haven't counted, but I have to imagine there's only 15, maybe 20 actual characters that are main and secondary characters. The rest are all extras. The rest are all background characters, red shirts, as you say, Xavier. So yeah, I feel like at some point there needs to be a culling of the herd, if you will. There needs to be some kind of event that happens that trims this number down a little bit, because I find it hard seeing that 47 people are all going to just pile their way out of Fromville, the main characters and all these extras. Lost actually did a really good job at this, because Lost had this same problem for many seasons, if anyone remembers. When that plane crashed, there were tons of people on that freaking plane that crashed, yet there was only around 20 characters or so that were actually characters. So through the seasons, they had to kind of slowly have these events that killed off big crowds of extras. And they did, they consistently did it throughout the first 3 or 4 seasons. To the time you get to season 5 and 6, it's pretty much only the main characters left. So Lost did a pretty good job at kind of trimming the fat a little bit towards the end of the show. So I'm wondering if From will do something similar, that they'll have to kind of start killing off some of these extras to kind of make this a little more focused just to the main characters. Or who knows, maybe we'll see everybody get out of Fromville, or maybe we'll see everybody die. That's also a possibility as well. But yeah, in terms of trimming some of the fat, Xavier, I'm with you. I wouldn't mind seeing it. I wouldn't mind seeing some of the extras go, in some interesting gory scenes. Yeah, why not? Why not? Let's see what else we got. Scrolling down. I have Amazon Prime, and I usually get it at 11 or 12. I mean, from what I could tell, if you're on the West Coast, that's different. I'm talking Eastern Standard Time. Eastern Standard Time, it comes out at midnight Eastern Standard Time on MGM Plus. But if you're an MGM Plus member through Amazon, it comes out midnight Pacific Standard Time, not Eastern. So that's, again, 3 hours later. At least that's what we've seen every week up until this point. We've done watch parties for the first 2 episodes, and right at midnight, everybody that's subscribed to Amazon, directly to Amazon, seems to all get the episodes right then. But everyone who subscribed through Amazon had to wait a few hours later. So yeah, I'm talking East Coast time, not West Coast time. I should have clarified that if I didn't. Sorry. But yes, that's how they do it. If you are a member of Amazon, if you are a member of MGM through Amazon and you live on the West Coast, you'll get it at midnight your time, which would be 3 a.m. our time. But I kind of go off East Coast because I am in East Coast. But yeah, that's usually how they release them. Midnight Eastern Standard Time for anyone who's a member of MGM Plus. And if you're a member through Amazon, it'll be 3 a.m. Eastern, 3 hours later. They need to kill Ellis. I hate him. Oh, shit. I mean, I'll say this, you're not alone. I mean, I have seen a lot of comments that like whenever we bring up the topic in terms of like what characters do you guys think are going to die, or which characters do you guys want to see die? And Ellis's name tends to come up a lot in those discussions. Just from what I've seen anyway. Ellis's name has come up a lot in those discussions. So I don't think you're the only one, Starry Day. I don't think you're the only one that isn't an Ellis fan. I see that comment a lot for some reason. And I saw that comment a lot from Jim. I mean, you guys remember, Jim was catching so much flack. There were a lot of people that didn't like Jim throughout the first 3 seasons. So yeah, I mean, and that happens. There's always going to be characters that fans like and don't like. It's fun. It's funny. But I always find that kind of funny, seeing the Ellis hate. Because, I mean, I don't hate Ellis, but he's definitely not my favorite character by any means. But I will say this. They had that really good scene between Ellis and Boyd in episode 1. That was a really good scene. I felt like we really saw Ellis grow up a lot in that moment, where Ellis kind of stood up and he kind of stepped into the role that Boyd always steps into, to be that strength for Boyd. And again, I think, looking back on the show, that's probably my favorite Ellis scene that he's ever done on the whole show. That scene with him and Boyd at the end of episode 1, when Boyd is just ready to break down and Ellis stands up and he tells everybody to get out. Everybody get out. I need to talk to my father one-on-one. And he stood up in that moment and he stepped into the role that Boyd usually steps in. And he was that strength that Boyd needed in that moment. Got his head clear, got him back on the right track. And that was a good show of growth for Ellis. We haven't really seen that much of Ellis. We haven't seen that side of Ellis too much on the show up until now. So I like that scene. Even though Ellis isn't my favorite character by any means, I did like that scene between him and Boyd. That was a really good scene. And of course, Harold Perrineau just acts his freaking ass off anytime he has one of those emotional scenes. So that was good. I think Ellis, stepped up a little bit and grew up a little bit there, for sure. For sure. Nah, Jim was way better than Ellis. I do like Jim better than Ellis. Me personally. Yes, I did like Jim better than Ellis. Ellis will for sure get killed, and that will drive Boyd into chaos. It will. Like, if Ellis does die, yeah, I mean, that is going to devastate Boyd. Boyd is already on the brink. He is already this close to just fucking losing it. If you were to lose Ellis, man, I don't know how he would recover from that. That might be the one thing that actually breaks him. Boyd has been so strong up until this point. He survived so freaking much. He's had to do so much. This is someone who has had to kill his own wife to save his son. Boyd has endured. I feel like the only person in Fromville that has endured more than Boyd is Victor. And that's just by proxy of him being in there for a lot longer. But with the exception of Victor, Boyd has suffered in this place more than anyone else. This place has taken so much from Boyd. You can definitely make that argument for Kenny too, but Boyd, I think, has gone through more traumatic moments in terms of not just losing the people he loves, literally being the one that had to kill his wife to save his son. That's crazy. That's insane. Yet he hasn't let it break him. Yet if he were to go through all of that, if he would have to do all that only to lose Ellis now, I do think that might be the one thing that does break Boyd. And we kind of hear him talk a little bit about it in that scene. He's telling Ellis, he's like, you know, your mom, if it's all for nothing, if I lose you, it was all for nothing. And that's him talking like, hey, if we lose you, I killed your mom for no reason. I killed your mom for nothing if you don't get out of here. You have to get out of here, or her death was for nothing. So you can see like how heavy that's weighing on Boyd, where he very much feels like if he doesn't get his son out of here, then he would have killed his wife for nothing. And I can only imagine what it must be like to live with that in your mind, to live with that on your back, and to be able to wake up every day and put your clothes on and look yourself in the mirror and brush your teeth and go to work and just get through the day. The fact that he's able to do any of those things is just a huge testament to how strong Boyd is. But yeah, if he were to lose Ellis, I think that might be the one thing that he might just break from. That might be the one thing that does him in. But who knows? Who knows? Yeah, Boyd was crashing out on the trailer. He's crashing out a little bit. He's crashing out a few different times in the trailers. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, and I would put Fatima and Kenny in a similar category. I think Ellis would probably be the most severe, but I think Boyd losing Fatima or Kenny would be close to as devastating as well. Like, yeah, like those are like the three people he can't lose. And hopefully he doesn't. But again, I agree with a lot of you in the chat. I do think he is going to lose Ellis at some point. I don't see Ellis making it. I don't know. Just have that feeling, I guess. Ellis is what is keeping Boyd going. Yeah, he is. You know, the thought of getting his son out of here one day, that for Boyd means he didn't kill his wife for no reason. And that's everything. That is everything to Boyd, making sure he didn't kill his wife for no reason. And you can understand that. At least I can definitely understand that sentiment. That is it's heavy shit, man. That's some heavy fucking shit. That is some heavy shit. But yeah, let's see what else we got. Scrolling down. Jim was important. Yeah, Jim was important. He was an engineer. Whatever he learned made him a threat. And maybe that is a possibility as well, because we have seen Jim has been, pretty active and pretty handy at trying to look for answers, trying to find a way to, get a way out of this place right from the very beginning. I mean, he was vital to building that radio with Jade and making contact with the man in yellow, which we now know is the man in yellow for the first time. So Jim's smart. Like, Jim was an asset. Jim was definitely an asset in this place. And yeah, I didn't hate Jim. Again, I know a lot of people didn't like Jim. That's totally fine. But I didn't mind him. I think Jim had his problems, yes, for sure. He was not perfect by any means, but he was an asset. He could have been an asset, for sure. For sure. Father Kotri told Boyd he has to get people out or else Abby died in vain. And again, that must be just on his mind 24/7. And, hearing someone like Kotri even reiterate it just kind of probably keeps it in the forefront of his mind that much more, right? Because how can he not? How can he not be thinking about that 24/7? If I don't get my son out of here, if I don't get my son and everybody else out of here, then yeah, I killed my wife for no reason. Like, that's crazy. It's fucking crazy to live with that. So yeah, you can understand why Boyd is going through it. And this is a question I was wondering as well, Xavier. Yes, where the F is Bacta? I'm disappointed at her as a black person for volunteering to make breakfast and soul food and not stepping up to the plate. No wonder Ethan is so grumpy he misses pancakes. Yeah, I mean, we did see Bacta step up in, I believe it was season 2. She was like, okay, not season 2, in season 3, excuse me, after Tien Chen gets killed. And she's like, okay, I'm going to run the restaurant now. We're going to keep people fed, keep that morale up a little bit, because the diner, even though like this is just a hellish landscape, the diner represented like some small semblance of normalcy, like even in a place like this where everything is crazy, where up is down, where left is right, that you had some things that gave you this little sense of normalcy. And I think the diner was one of those things. And I think that's why Tien Chen was like the heart and soul of the show, not just because she was a great character, but for the service that she was providing to the people of Fromville. One of the only normal services that they still have to hold on to in this place from the real world. So yeah, I always thought the diner was a huge asset, far beyond just feeding them, what it can mean for their morale, having something that is normal, a place to go to eat every morning. You wake up, you go to the diner. It becomes a routine, some kind of sense of normalcy in this nightmarish landscape. So yeah, I always thought that the diner was a great asset. And yeah, we haven't really seen much activity in there. Bapta said she was going to kind of take over and do the diner, but we haven't really seen any of her. So yeah, you bring up a good point. Where's Bapta been? Where has Bapta been? And we still don't really know anything about her character either. Like, that's another character they haven't given really any screen time, which is unfortunate because she is a good actress. The few scenes that we see, her in anyway. Yeah, I know. I'd like to see her get a little bit more screen time, find out a little bit more about who she is. What is she thinking? We don't even really know how she's been reacting to this place because we see so little of her. So yeah, I would love to see her kind of open up the diner again. And we did get that little kind of tease from Kenny, the actor who plays Kenny, Ricky He. He did send out a tweet when they were filming saying, tomato soup's back on the menu. And a lot of us took that as a indication that maybe the diner is going to be reopening this season. But with things getting worse and worse like this, I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? But let's see. We shall see. But without further ado, I know I said I would play the episode 3 trailer. I will do that now. Let me pull it up and we will take a look. And I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear from you guys in the chat. What do you think of the episode 3 trailer? What are some of your predictions heading into episode 3? And where do you think this episode is ultimately going to take us? So here we go. Let me pull this up here. And we will take a look. We will take a look at the official episode 3 trailer. And again, let us know what you guys.
You're getting so close now, but I'm afraid you're running out of time.
You remind me of someone I could have held. I don't get to get that back.
Are you kidding me? I didn't mean to upset you. I'm sorry. What did you mean to do then? Julie, stop. Finding the lighthouse could be what gets everyone home.
It's not.
I don't know. I'll try something else.
Not if you're dead.
Oof, oof, oof. Now, the ending of that trailer, the ending of that episode 3 trailer has me the most worried out of everything that we saw. But we'll go through all of it, and I want to hear from you guys. What did you guys think of this thing? What did you guys think? Let me scroll this over again. Mute it. All right, here we go. The episode 3 trailer, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, the trailer starts off. We see Henry and Tabitha at the bottle tree. And lo and behold, we have our first appearance of the boy in white. Or, as many have been saying, the man in white, the teen in white, the I'm getting ready to have my first beer in white. He's grown up a lot. Again, these child actors, they grow once they get to a certain age. But a lot of people have pointed out how bigger he looks. And he does. He looks, a lot bigger. These actors are growing very quick. But for me, what he's saying, of course, is a lot more important. I mean, yes, it's kind of funny. He's growing super fast and, we all notice it. But what's really important here is the dialogue, what the boy in white is actually saying. Yeah, the Giga Chat in white. I've seen that one coming around too, the Giga Chat in white. I mean, yeah. But for me, again, the dialogue, what he's saying here in this moment, that is what's more important. And I'll play it again one more time just for people who maybe didn't hear it or for people who are just coming in now. We'll play the what exactly the boy in white says to Tabitha and Henry.
You're getting so close now, but I'm afraid you're running out of time.
You're getting so close now, but I'm afraid you're running out of time. Now, when we hear that, or at least when I hear that, it tells me that we might be heading closer towards the end of this cycle. This cycle must be getting close to its end. And how do these cycles end? Well, if the other 78 cycle is any indication, these cycles might all end with some giant massacre, some giant reset button that the man in yellow or the monsters push that creates just a complete reset. That is what kills off a new cycle, and that's what kills off an old cycle or a current cycle and starts a new one. Because it seems like when it comes to Jade and Tabitha and their reincarnations, that the current version of them needs to die before the next version is born. At least that's what we have seen from Miranda and Christopher and Jade and Tabitha. It wasn't until Miranda and Christopher were killed that Jade and Tabitha were born. And then we saw Jade and Tabitha grow up, become adults, and then they eventually get pulled into Fromville. So we see there is a good chunk of time in between these cycles, it seems. But I wouldn't be too surprised if that is what happens, that at the end of every cycle, there's a giant massacre that kills everybody in town and kills whatever the current version of Jade and Tabitha is. And boom, that starts up the beginning of a new cycle. But how do our characters combat that? How do they stop the massacre? How do they break the chain? Is this going to finally be the cycle that actually ends up defeating this thing, that actually ends up breaking the cycle? And if they are, how exactly are they going to do it? Again, I love how we're actually having our characters bring up the important question. We hear Boyd say in episode 2, how do you save children that are already dead? A question we as fans have been asking, from the very beginning, but now our characters are actually finally catching up to us and asking the same questions that we're asking. How do you save children that are technically already dead? And we hear Jade say, I'm working on it. But here we see the boy in white saying that you guys are getting close. And that's another key part of the dialogue that he says to Tabitha and Henry. You guys are getting close, but you're running out of time. So we are very much in the 11th hour here, folks. We are very much at the fourth quarter, and it is fucking 3rd and 1. We are very much at the end, and this is coming close to a really, really tight call. Will our characters be able to solve this thing? Will they be able to break this cycle? Or are they just going to be another in a long line of failures, I guess is the question. But it's nice to see the boy in white. It's nice to see that he is going to be making an appearance in episode 3. And he is giving us some interesting information. And I'm more looking forward to seeing like this full scene. This is just a quick little snippet of it from the episode 3 trailer. But I can only imagine what this full scene is going to look like. What exactly is the boy in white or the teen in white or getting ready for my first beer in white? What is he going to say to Tabitha and Henry in this moment? What is going to be the big revelation, if there even is going to be any? Will we get some kind of revelation here from the boy in white? Let me know what you guys think. What do you guys think? Like the meat cake, no survivors. It might be no survivors, but hopefully we'll get a happy ending. We're hoping for a happy ending, but we're prepared for anything, right? At least I am anyway. I'm hoping for a happy ending, but I'm prepared for anything at all. Ethan will be the next cycle's version of Victor, and Victor's a very interesting case because Victor seems to be the only survivor from the previous cycle that didn't die. I mean, I guess, again, we still don't really know 100% what's going on with Eloise. Some people think Eloise is still alive out there, and I think she might be too. So Eloise could technically still be alive from the previous cycle as well. But we know Victor is. So Victor very much is a bit of an anomaly here, where it seems like his cycle came to an end, yet he survived it. So yeah, Victor's a very special case, I think. I mean, could Ethan become the next Victor? That's possible. That is very possible. And welcome, PM. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. We're actually, it's good timing because I'm actually just playing the episode 3 trailer for the first time, and we are diving into it and getting the chat's opinion on it. And we're starting right from the very beginning with our first appearance of the boy in white, or the man in white, the teen in white, the Giga Chad in white, the, as I like to say, getting ready for his first beer in white. When you hear this dialogue and you hear the boy in white say, you're getting close, but you're running out of time. I mean, for me, it tells me that a potential end to this cycle is coming. And maybe that means a master reset button gets hit with another massacre.
Yeah, I would have to agree. I think he's verbatim saying it to us, right? You're close, but you're running out of time, which means that he's aware that Sophia is out.
Yeah,
that's what immediately it jumped out at me.
Yeah,
like he knows that Sophia is out and about in the town. So what I thought, it's not necessarily that there's a timer, but he knows the man in yellow like is amongst you.
He's here
He
now.
could like kill you any night, right? He could slaughter you. He
More
can
dangerous now.
hurt you, right? At any moment. So what I'm wondering is, if he knows that Sophia is dangerous, why doesn't he tell Tabitha? This is a great opportunity to have more communication. Just tell her, just say, hey, by the way, there's somebody amongst you. You know what I mean?
And I guess that will be interesting to see this full scene. Will the boy in white tell Tabitha and Henry about the man in yellow here? Will he actually reveal that? Or will he not? If he doesn't reveal that, I mean, does that not throw a little bit more suspicion on the boy in white in terms of a lot of people thinking that he's a little sus? I mean, again, it is kind of his MO to kind of withhold information. He did say that I'm not just going to hold your hand this time. After all, he did say, I did that last time with Christopher and look at what happened. I think it's time that you guys figure this out on your own this time. So yeah, I guess it's 50-50. Will he tell Tabitha and Henry about the man in yellow, or will he keep this to himself and still think you guys got to figure this out yourself? Yeah, I don't know. I think it could go either way.
Well, there's a way that they could get away with that making sense. Let's say that he is good, because I do think that he is a good entity. And when I say good entity, I mean people may do bad things
for good reasons,
for the purpose of a good outcome. So that's the type of entity that I believe that he is. When it comes to him not saying, hey, there's a bad person amongst you, and this is their name, and their name is Sophia, like, watch out.
Don't trust Sophia. She's an ancient entity, man in yellow thing.
Exactly. Like that airplane, you guys, do you remember the lady on the airplane that was freaking out, that goes, that motherfucker right there is
not real.
Do you remember the viral airplane later they kicked her out?
I do.
That is exactly what I feel like he should say. You know what I mean? But they could get away.
Yeah, about Sophia. That motherfucker is not real.
Yeah, it's not real. And I don't care if any of you believe me. So they could get away with him not saying anything, because he said, last time I told you guys everything. And when I told you guys everything, it didn't work out. It's better that you find out on your own. That is something that he told us. He told us his strategy right now is, you're on your own. Find out. I'm going to help you as little as possible. So they could kind of get away with saying that's what he didn't say anything, because he's been doing this cycle after cycle and it never goes well. People never believe him or something, you know?
Well, and like, he does have a history of withholding stuff too. At least with this cycle anyway, he has a history of just, you know, he's a lot like Yoda, where he's not being direct with his information. He's kind of very vague, and he's not just offering it up. So yeah, I think it wouldn't be too out of character if he didn't tell Tabitha and Henry, maybe. Yeah.
Because that is a strategy, and he said it verbatim. And thank you guys for liking my hair. You guys are so nice. Thank you. I love you.
It does. The new hair looks phenomenal. Love that.
Thank you.
Love that. Yeah, I remember the first time you did it. It looked great. I'm glad you did it again. It looks phenomenal.
Thank you.
But yeah, this is going to be interesting. Again, usually we don't get the boy in white until later on in the season. If you look at seasons, 2 and 3, we don't get any appearance of the boy in white until the last episode, the final or the second to last episode, I think.
Yeah.
And here we're getting some boy in white right from the very beginning. But I'm very much looking forward to seeing this whole scene play out in its entirety. Again, we get this little snippet of it, but what is the full scene really going to look like? What is the boy in white going to share with Henry and Tabitha? What is he not going to share? And what is this interaction ultimately going to, spur Tabitha or cause Tabitha and Henry to go do? Now, even though the trailer doesn't play in chronological order, we'll stick with Tabitha and Henry for a minute, because the end of the trailer also has one more Tabitha Henry scene, and then we'll go back and play the rest of the trailer. We also see this little scene here of Tabitha and Henry. And this is, we've had a lot of jokes about this, but I'll play it real quick, and people can, I'd love to get everybody's opinion on this as well.
Julie, stop. Finding the lighthouse could be what gets everyone home?
It's not.
I don't know. I'll try something else.
Not if you're dead.
Not if you're dead. Now, even though we've been joking about it, even though we've been kind of joking about it, about Tabitha, accidentally pushing Henry into the fucking faraway tree here and killing him, jokes aside, something like that is very possible. Like, this is Henry is right here. He's doing the full-on Hodor. Like, if you remember Hodor at the end of Game of Thrones, when he's holding the door shut, he's doing a full-on Hodor here, trying to get Tabitha to not get into this tree. And we see Tabitha, like, she's struggling with him. She's actively struggling with him and trying to get around him or through him, maybe. So I'm a little bit worried. I'm a little bit worried for Henry's longevity, I guess you could say, here in this scene. What do you guys think in the chat? And what do you guys think? What do you think as well, PM? Is there a possibility that Tabitha accidentally pushes Henry into this faraway tree and it has a catastrophic result? Like, is that possible? Or is this just another example of the trailer trying to make us seem like this is going to happen and something totally different is going to happen? I'm hoping it's that. I'm hoping that this is just one big misdirect scene and they're just kind of messing with us. But there is a possibility, I suppose. So let me know what you guys think in the chat, and let me know what you think as well, PM. Is Henry in danger here?
I hope so. I really hope so. I'm sorry, but I hope that this, like, no, you don't if you're dead. Like, Henry is so extra. First of all, he's such a drama queen. He said, you guys, to Jim, I was you like 30 years ago. I was you 30 years ago. Yeah. And if I could do it again, I wouldn't have been so controlling. And that's why Jim starts helping Tabitha. So he's getting an opportunity to once again be a helper and not get in the way. And what does he do? He's literally in the way. Like, no, you don't. Like, he's such a drama queen. He didn't learn a thing. I really would hope that Tabitha pushes him into the tree. And that maybe that's how he dies. And the reason why is because I do feel that Henry has accomplished what he was there to do, which is to inspire Victor, right? Now,
and to help Tabitha get her memories back. His only purpose seemed to be the boy in white sending Tabitha to him so she could see those drawings in the basement, really. We got that extra reunion between Victor and Henry, but I don't think Boy in White was planning on that. I think he was just planning on Tabitha needs to see these drawings to get the memories back. So you're right. It seems like he might have narratively filled his purpose already.
I don't know. I think we are down to the timeline, right? Like, we don't get a lot of episodes, you guys. It's not like we get 28 like the good old days. We get a limited amount of time, and every time we're taken away from the main characters to focus on Victor and his daddy and what they have going on, that's time away from the main storyline. So I feel like he's done enough. I want to see Tabitha push him into the tree and he ends up in a place where he can't get back or he dies, right? Because then I'm putting it together. Look, you guys, back when the season was announced, they gave us a clip of Victor like wanting to chop down the tree, right? Again, like he was up to no good. Or no, he was crying at the tree. That's what it was.
Crying near the, I think that happens near the peach truck. Like, he's leaning up against the tree and he's like crying. Like, he's like super
It looked like a tree. It looked like a tree to me, like he was crying on the floor of a tree. So it made me think,
it was far away, though.
If Henry gets pushed in and he dies, then Victor's gonna freak the fuck out. Remember that he wanted to chop down the tree.
That tree down. Yeah,
he's gonna go over there and cry, and then he's gonna chop down the tree. It's gonna come full circle because they stopped them, right? The boy in white stopped them and said, you can't chop down the tree. But now he has even more motivation. And maybe the tree is the door, so he's literally like chopping down the door that they need.
Yeah, no, and that's what we were talking about last week as well. It just seems like if this were to happen, I could see Victor blaming the tree more than he blames Tabitha. Because, like you said, we've already seen that Victor has a history of blaming this tree for all the bad shit that goes on. But I was thinking about something interesting, and Heather TV it also is thinking about the same thing. Earlier on, when we saw that first teaser trailer, we have that one scene of everybody walking up to the pool. wondering what's inside the pool. It looks like there's something crazy inside the pool. Could that be what's going on here? Could we see Tabitha accidentally push Henry into this tree and he ends up like Dale? And that's what everybody was gathering up into the pool to see. Dead Henry just next to fucking Dale. I mean, just thinking about that teaser, thinking about everybody walking up to that pool like we saw in that first teaser, it made me wonder, okay, what exactly are they looking at? It looks like they're looking at something that is kind of disturbing them. And then after seeing this, I just thought, could that be a possibility? Could Tabitha accidentally push him in? And that could explain the pool scene, what everybody is looking at. I hope not, but I wouldn't be surprised at this point. Oh, you're on mute.
I absolutely love it, guys. I think it's brilliant. I think it makes a lot of sense. But let me add to it, right?
Yes,
because
please.
when they were looking at the pool, it did look like they were looking at something, but it wasn't horrific enough for them to be like horrified, right? They were just kind of like looking, right? Like there is something there, but it's not horrified faces like
They
with
look
Dell.
disturbed at least a little, but that could have,
This is where I'm going with it. Look,
okay, yeah.
They encased the place where Dell was. They encased it in rocks.
Right.
So if he gets pushed, you're not necessarily going to see him the way you saw Dell. You're just going to see movement in the rocks. You know, the rocks are
if he ends up in like the same spot as Dale, like literally the exact same
right next to him. Let's say he ends up right next to him.
Like already inside the enclosed
movement. Movement in the rocks. Maybe they're looking and they're like freaking out. And
they're
once
wondering why the rocks are disturbed. Okay.
Once they remove the rocks, it's him.
Oh, I like that. I like that because you bring up a good point, because when we see them walking up to the pool, I mean, they look like they're concerned, but yeah, maybe it's not like a super look of like devastation or horror on their face, because maybe all they're seeing is that some of the bricks have fallen down. And then, they pull it on the rest of the bricks and boom, there's fucking Henry right where Dale was, or right next to him. That is great. That is fucking hilarious. That is good television right there. Poor Henry, man. Yeah, poor Henry. Again, I'm worried for Henry. I am. I like Henry. I don't want him to go. But I am. I'm worried about his longevity. Yeah, PM's dark. I like it though. I like it. I like the idea. I like the idea of him accidentally getting pushed into the tree, ending up like Dale in a similar way, or having that reveal that you mentioned. Just poor.
Yeah, it kind of made me laugh. It is dark, very dark comedy, but it did make me laugh. The idea that Victor loses both of his parents because they go through that tree.
Because they both.
It's like it's kind of hilarious because he didn't have his dad for the longest, and his dad only got into front to be pushed down the tree. It's kind of hilarious.
It would be a tragic case of irony, if nothing else. Like that, this bottle tree was essentially the cause of both of his parents' deaths. Yeah, and you could totally understand why he would maybe want to try and chop it down again, I guess. But I love Henry too. Like I like Henry. I really don't want him to go anywhere. I like Henry just because some of my favorite scenes on the entire show have been Victor and Henry scenes. Like I love their dynamic, even though, yes, you can definitely make a really good argument that he's kind of already filled his narrative purpose emotionally. I would love for him to kind of stay on the show, just because I do like the scenes between him and Victor. Like the reunion scene between Victor and Henry, still to this day, one of my all-time favorite scenes.
It's okay. Everything's okay.
Get home. I didn't know how to get home. It's okay. It's okay.
He's so good, right? I 100%. I totally think that Scott McCord has the toughest acting job on the entire series. I mean, there's a lot of really good actors on this show, and it's hard to hold a candle to Harold Perrineau's performance with how good of an actor he is. But Scott McCord, I think, does it. I think Scott McCord has the toughest job on this show. And boy, does he kill it. He's so good. I just really like Victor. I really like Scott McCord. And the guy's just good. Yeah, I came just in time for the tears. Yeah, I mean, you know me. Anytime we mention the Victor and Henry reunion scene, I gotta play it. I gotta play it every time we mention it. You guys know me. But yeah, I love the farting into the tree. Poor Henry. Give him some dignity if he goes, at least. But yeah, awesome stuff. Just such a good actor. Such a good actor. And yeah, it was good casting for Henry. Him and Victor look very similar. They definitely look enough alike where you could believe that they're related, at least. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, they're both good actors. They're both good. Robert Joy's a really good actor as well. Really good actor. You know, going all the way back from, you know, The Hills Have Eyes, playing the crazy maniac in The Hills Have Eyes. He's had some pretty big roles.
Yeah. Now, something that I did see in the chat, and I wanted to talk to you about, Jeremy, is somebody in the chat was asking, how do we feel about Tabitha having 3 husbands, like at the same time? Because Jim is kind of there, right, as a ghost. We are to believe that he's there as a ghost. She has Henry, and then she also has Jade. How do you feel about that?
About having all of these potential husbands from different iterations, from different incarnations, all being here at once, potentially Ghost Jim, Jade, and Henry. Yeah, it's pretty crazy, isn't it? And I have seen a lot of people talking about that. Like, Tabitha's got like legit 3 husbands in town right now. What is she going to do? But I mean, yeah. I'm imagining it's probably going to be, you know, a little more, even though Tabitha is the latest reincarnation, I don't think she'll ever like view Henry as her husband. I just don't think she will. But that's just my theory.
Yeah, it seems like she doesn't view Jade as her husband either, because even though she may have memory, she told them it should have been you. You should have been hanging, not, you know, my husband. My husband died. So she definitely looks at Jim as he's my husband, and you two, this might not even be a reality. It might just be something that we are made to believe. So she's not fully on believing it yet. Now, somebody in the comments, it was so funny, you guys cracked me up, but said, oh goody, when they saw the preview for the episode, they're like, oh goody, we get to see Tabitha fight with one of her husbands again. And she is in a rampage right now. She's not getting along with anybody, you guys. I think, you know, it's funny, but it is also correct. She's not getting along with her children. She doesn't seem to be emotionally supporting them. They just lost their dad. And what is she doing? She's doing random things like scrubbing the paint off the barn. That's not necessary, lady. Stay with your kid.
Not a priority,
Hold them, right? It's Julie holding Ethan. We didn't really even see her embrace them or hold them, right?
Yeah.
So she's fighting with everybody. Her kids are not okay with her. She's fighting with Jade. She's right now, you know, she said that she didn't fight with Jim. And this is something that we were talking with Jeremy. She lied. She's a liar. She did fight with Jim. Ethan was like, what did you do? Yeah. Why didn't you come home? Why didn't he come home? You fought with them. And she's like, no, I didn't. And Julie's like, it doesn't matter. Like, grow up, mom. You know, like, don't scream at Ethan like he's a kid. But she lied because they did fight. And the last thing that Tabitha ever said to Jim, she held them back and she said, I need time. I need time. I need space. So he would have followed her home. He would have been home. He would have followed her so that they could continue the conversation. She stopped them physically with her hand and said, I need space. Like, let me go. And
she's the reason he walked over to the RV and needed a moment. You're 100% right. She, in a sense, does bear some responsibility for Jim dying. Like that did, I mean, you might not want to blame her, but those events led to Jim's death, led to Jim going to that RV.
what's really funny is that we all blame her, and Ethan blames her, and Julie probably blames her. Everybody blames Tabitha except for Tabitha. She's very good. She has a very good sense of self. Everybody blames her except for herself. Even when the proof is there that she's the one that's doing all of this, she's like, you know what? It's not my fault. I'm not gonna get hung up on it. It's probably not my fault. It's probably somebody else's.
Yeah, I mean, she does have a history of blaming others and never really kind of not taking a whole lot of responsibility for herself. Again, I what she did to Jade was not cool. Definitely was not cool. Kind of throwing the whole thing on Jade. But yeah, I guess it's going to be interesting to see how is she going to continue to react to all of this stuff. How is she going? Like, will she get to a point where she's kind of like, again, right now she's grieving, she's devastated. Jim just died. It's very fresh. It's a raw wound. She's not going to be in her right mind. But she's got to get to the point where she's got to get it together, because it's not just this thing she needs to solve. She also, as you mentioned, has 2 children she needs to protect now alone. Jim's not here anymore. It is only her. You are the one that has to protect your children now. So now you have to be a little bit more careful. It was one thing when you were going off half-cocked doing all these kind of missions, because you had 2 parents at that point. If, God forbid, something happened to Tabitha out there, Jim was still around at that point to take care of the kids. Now Jim's gone. So she is going to have to kind of reevaluate what kind of risks she's willing to take. And I think that's why we're seeing Henry here. I think that's why we're seeing Henry try to stop her here, just from jumping into this tree head first and not really having much of a plan behind her, I would imagine. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's going to be interesting to see how she's going to continue to deal with this. How will she adapt?
Yeah, but you know what? We do kind of have to be fair here with Tabitha. What do you do? It seems like a lose-lose sort of situation. You have to go and search for answers. You can't just stay there and wait for the worst to happen and die in from, right? You have your children. You need to actively try to protect them and to get them out. So it's good that she's looking for answers, that she's going to the tree and through it. But it is a lose-lose situation. Do you take your children with you and risk ending up in a place that is, going to be your death? Do you take them with you, or do you leave them at home? And if you leave them at home, she already has experience going to the tree and ending up in a whole nother world, right? In a whole nother destination. So it's a lose-lose situation. I wouldn't necessarily say take them with you, but then also leaving them behind. It's like, what about if you do find the doorway? If you do, let's say the best case scenario, you find the way out. Your kids are at home and now you're out. That would be horrible, that you left your kids stuck in there, but you made it out, right?
Right. Oh my God. Yeah. And again, and we see her, like, when that did happen for that split time, how desperate she was to get back into this place because she didn't want to leave her family there. Yeah, that could be a crazy ending. That could be a crazy ending. But yeah, again, I think she's going to have to adapt. She's going to have to learn to adapt to life without Jim, and she's going to have to learn to kind of reevaluate her decisions and not just kind of jump in head first. She needs to be more kind of tactical about things going forward. But continuing with the trailer, next we have this.
You remind me of someone I could have helped. I don't get to get that back.
Oof, interesting. Now, again, I was actually very shocked when I heard this for the first time. Boyd saying this to Acosta. You remind me of someone that I couldn't help, and that it instantly flashes to the flashback of Abby shooting up the town and Boyd having to kill Abby. And I got to say, that was a very interesting thing. I never would have thought that Acosta would be a type of person that would remind Boyd of Abby, but as you and I have talked about many times, once you start kind of looking a little bit deeper, you start to see some similarities, right, between Acosta and Abby. Not
the biggest one being
them both shooting the fuck up out of the town when they first arrived. Literally, they both entered Fromville guns blazing. But even, jokes aside, even though that is fucking hilarious that they both kind of were shooting up the town when they first arrived, we also see that Acosta is very much having a tough time adapting to this place, like Abby did. Abby was having a very tough time adapting, and Ellis noticed it. Ellis was seeing it, and he was telling his father, Dad, we need you here. We don't need you out in the woods. We need you here. There's something wrong with Mom. Something is not right with her. And Boyd, he was being Mr. Fish and Loaves. He was trying to set up the town and set this place up so his family would have a safe place to live. Everything he does was for his family, but in working so hard to set up for his family, he didn't see the immediate problem that was happening within his family. And I think that's one of his biggest regrets. So when he sees Acosta going down this road, I think maybe he sees this as a chance to, okay, I couldn't save my wife from this, but maybe I can save you from going down that same path. Could this be the beginning of an alliance between Boyd and Acosta even? I know a lot of us thought Acosta was going to be a big thorn in Boyd's side, which she could be, but this could be an interesting turning point for these characters.
I mean, I think that there's definitely a possibility because there's a couple of things that we know for sure about Acosta. One, she loves to shoot up the place, guns ablazing, loves it. And number two, the only thing that she loves more than her gun is her authority. So if Boyd can find a way to provide her with some actual authority within the town of saying, let me make it up to you, let's start over, you could be my deputy, and gives her some level of authority, she might like that. Because she likes that. She likes her authority, her power, and her gun.
To be respected, I think. Yeah.
So if he could find a way to say, I will give you, the opportunity to be like me and Kenny, and we could work together, I think she might agree, right? Now, I like something that Ravener said on the live stream that you did with Ravener. Ravener, I really like it, and I hope that this is exactly what it is. But Ravener said, we are made to believe that maybe they're coming together and having a good conversation, but we don't see her response. For all we know, she could say, oh, really? I remind you of somebody. Go to hell. And what did you do? You killed her. Do you think I'm going to want to hang out with you? Like, you're reminded of somebody that you killed. That shows me you're a monster. Right now, she thinks that he's a monster because he participated in Elgin's torture.
Yes.
Okay. When he tells her, hey, by the way, I killed my wife, she's going to think, okay, you for sure are a goddamn monster. You deserve to be here. So I like that we are made to believe that maybe they're getting along, but her answer might be like, go to hell.
Yeah,
absolutely not.
It might be. And like you said, you and Ravener, you both bring up very good points there. We're just getting one very small snippet of this scene. And we know how these trailers like to kind of edit things in the way where sometimes there's a bit of misdirection there. So, yeah, I think that's very much a possibility. We have no idea how Acosta is going to respond to Boyd maybe offering an olive branch. She might slap it right down and not take it. Very good point. Does the episode release tonight, gang? Yes, the episode does release tonight. We're actually 1 hour away. If you are a member of MGM Plus, directly through the MGM Plus website, not through Amazon, but if you are a member of MGM Plus directly to MGM Plus, you will have access to the episode in 1 hour, midnight Eastern Standard Time, if you live in the States, that is. Unfortunately, they stagger the releases for people who don't live in the States. And if you are a MGM Plus member through Amazon, you'll get it 3 hours after we get it, after midnight Eastern Standard Time. So 3 a.m. or midnight Pacific. We're not sure why they do that with the Amazon. I mean, if you're a member of MGM Plus through Amazon, I don't know why they don't just release it at the same time there. But MGM has kind of always done this. They've always staggered these releases. But one thing that's always been kind of constant, if you are directly a member of MGM Plus, like a direct member of their streaming service, not through Amazon, but just through MGM, and you live in the States, you'll always have access to the episodes right after midnight Eastern Standard Time, which again is a little less than an hour from now. And we're going to continue this pregame show. Unfortunately, our Discord is not set up for the watch party this week. So this week I will be ending the pregame show at 12 in 1 hour. Then we're going to go watch the episode, but then I'm going to fire up an after show, an episode 3 after show, where we can come back here and discuss episode 3 together. But starting next week, we will be right back on par with all of our watch parties. Unfortunately, we got to capacity last week with the Discord. I'm going to have to go in there and boost it a few times so we can have an unlimited amount of people go in there and watch if they want to. So this week, we're not doing a watch party live. We're going to be doing this pregame show, and then we're going to do an after show, which will be a separate stream right after we're all done watching it. So hopefully you guys come back and join us for that. And then next week, from episode 4 on, we'll be back to our regular watch parties where if you guys want, you can hop right in the Discord and watch it in there with us. So that will be starting next week after I get the Discord boosted. But yeah, we are less than 1 hour away now, guys. Less than 1 hour away from episode 3. Yeah, we're not including the fact that Acosta was able to travel around the town and see that she is trapped, that she is so trapped and likely to change with her, and things are likely to change with her. Yeah, that was the thing with Acosta, and you know, Boyd kind of mentions it in episode 2, where when Acosta got stuck here, the ambulance didn't really have time to kind of travel around in a bunch of circles and really realize just how fucked up this place was. The ambulance didn't get to see that. As soon as the ambulance gets into town, they got stopped by one of the monsters. Usually people, if they arrive during the day, they get to drive around a bunch of times, and they very much get to realize, like, okay, this place is not normal. Acosta didn't have that. She didn't have that experience. She doesn't know what these people are telling her are true. She doesn't believe them. But yes, as you mentioned, Nick, after she took the ambulance and she went on her little joyride, by now she must have recognized that, okay, they're not lying to me. There is no way out of this place. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if she's going to change, or if that will get her to change, maybe. But at least until this point, she does at least know, okay, something's really wrong here. There's no way out. Because she didn't have that perspective earlier.
She does not have that perspective earlier. However, she introduces a new conspiracy theory, which I like, right? I like when the characters tell us what their theory is about the show. And she introduced the theory where maybe this is the bad place and you guys all deserve to be here. I don't, because I don't believe that I'm a bad person, but maybe you do all deserve to be here. That's why you don't try. I'm the only one fighting against the current. So when she introduces that, yes, she knows that they're trapped now because she tried it with the vehicle. However, she now has this new conspiracy theory. She does believe Boyd to be a monster. She says, you're a monster, you're a bad person. So it kind of adds, if Boyd says, hey, by the way, I shot my wife, it adds to her conspiracy theory of, yeah, you're definitely a bad person. That's why we're not getting out. Like, I would not, which is, I was going to say, she's going to act all high and mighty and say, I wouldn't kill anybody. But she did.
But she already did.
She already
killed
did.
Someone.
But it doesn't count because that was a mistake, you know?
It was a mistake. Yeah, no, you shot up the town just like Boyd's wife did. So you are no better, Acosta. You just happen to kill less people is all. That's really the only difference. But yeah, and I do agree with the Mandalorian in yellow here. Yeah, I do also wish people would stop trying to ship Julie with any character. Like, I think people forget these are teenage characters. And yeah, Kenny, Boyd, like, there's no shipping going on there, or at least there shouldn't be. Like Kenny, it's very, for me, I see it very much more as a big brother figure. Kenny's more of a big brother figure to Julie. So yeah, when that gets shipped, that's just weird. It's the age difference is too vast. So yeah, more of a brother sister relationship. I see Kenny and Julie as, for sure. Definitely not a big fan of that ship. I understand she freaked out, but ignoring to pick up Jim's son shows her personality as well. That's actually a really good point, Angela. You actually bring a really good point, Angelo. Because, yeah, I mean, we see that at that point, she had already driven around a few times. She had already kind of realized, okay, something's a little bit off here. And, yeah, we see kind of this kid. She knows this kid's dad just died. She knows that this kid's probably walking into the woods, getting ready to probably do something that's going to get him either in trouble or worse, or killed. You know, she has to know that. She has to be able to process that information when she sees Ethan, knowing his dad had just died. Yet she still just drives right by him. Kid will be fine. He'll be fine. Like, what are you talking about? And I love Christy in that moment. Christy's like, what? He's a boy whose father just died walking into the woods. What do you mean he'll be fine? So yeah, like you said, it does show a little bit of her personality, that maybe she does have a little bit of a selfish streak in her, and she really is kind of only caring about herself. Again, they haven't peeled back too many of the layers on Acosta yet. We've really only seen her kind of freak out. But like you said, that could have been very indicative of her real personality. Leaving that kid behind like that was messed up. So yeah, no, you bring up a good point, Angelo. You bring up a very good point.
I mean, Acosta is very unlikable. And she's unlikable because she is the type of person that can pinpoint everybody's shortcomings, but has no like way to reflect, no
No
self-reflection. She
self-reflection.
never she sees herself as perfect and everybody else as flawed and condemns them for
Yeah.
everything they do, while she doesn't condemn herself. She immediately gives herself a pass. So that's
Yeah.
why she's not likable. If she came into the town with a spirit of being helpful, a spirit of being sorry that she killed someone and wanting to learn and wanting to help, saying, okay, I really want to get out of here. Every day, let's go out into the woods,
Teach
work
me about
with
this
me.
place. Tell me what I need to know so I can better survive here. I would love to see her make that adaptation.
But
Will
all
she?
she does is she's a very immature person. I know
Very
that she's a
rigid.
young woman. So she's a young woman and you definitely see it in her behavior. She goes around acting like a teenager, like an angry teenager. She's like sitting there sulking, getting upset. When she wears her bad girl hoodie, she's a bad girl. She's stealing cars.
Yeah.
Even my poor girl Sarah is like, "Hey, are you okay?"
Yeah.
Like she could have
Yeah.
been nicer about that. Even Sarah
Yeah.
has had it with her. And if Sarah has had it with you, then you
And
know
you
nobody likes you.
then
You know, if
you fucked up.
Sarah
Yeah.
is like, I'm not gonna hang out with you, you know you fucked up.
Yeah, if Sarah's giving up on you, you're fucking toast at that point. There's no redemption. I like that. And as Blue brings up as well, she left Tabitha handcuffed to the fucking ambulance. She just left Tabitha for dead, and Henry. So yeah, I mean, you're right. Like when the fear takes over, she very much has, her fight or flight response is, let me take care of myself, everyone else be damned. That we've seen her have that reaction numerous different times now. So yeah, you bring up a point. She's she's got some growth to do. She's definitely got some soul searching to do. And I like how you stated it, PM. She just doesn't seem capable of having self-reflection. Like you said, she's very fast to say how much of a monster Boyd is for doing what he did, but you don't think that you're a monster for killing an innocent girl by shooting up this place when you first arrive. So I think that's a very good way to categorize her. She is very incapable of self-reflection, and that's something she's going to have to kind of get better at. And yeah, maybe even a little bit of narcissistic as well. Yeah, I mean, she does seem to be kind of worrying about herself rather than others. So I think you could maybe make an argument for some narcissism, maybe. Yeah. But yeah, maybe Sarah will teach her. Maybe Sarah will teach her.
It seems like this might be a childhood issue. We know that Kenny asked, like, what about you? Do you have family? And she's like, no, not really. But then she talks about her mother.
True.
So it said that she's so isolated in the world, that she have a life where there was no connection to family members, to brothers, sisters, and she's so completely alone that she's gotten to the point where this attitude is what works for her because she's a solitary character. Nobody likes
defense
her.
mechanism.
It could be. It definitely could be. But just on the topic, this is my opinion, okay? My opinion. Just on the topic of the young woman in the show and the way that people ship them and the way that people speak about this young woman. I love that From is the type of show where you're not seeing them sexualize the young girls that are supposed to be young girls. There is no character that is looking at them in an inappropriate way. All of the characters in there are looking at them like children because that's
We're not
what they
getting
are.
many
They're
love
very,
stories in general, which is good.
yeah, but specifically this, they are very young girls in a very bad place. They look at them as children, as people that need to be protected. Okay.
Exactly.
I think we need to reflect, you guys. You don't want to be Acosta. Look in the mirror and reflect because these characters don't look at these young women in that manner.
No,
Nobody
Kenny does not. There's no way Kenny does.
It says more about the viewers when the viewers are looking at them in that way. So you don't want to be Acosta and be pointing the finger at other people saying maybe they like them when you are introducing that idea. That idea, you shouldn't be looking at them in that way. And a lot of people will have this to say. This is my opinion. Will say, well, the real actress is 23, is 21. Unless you're 21, leave them alone. Because even if you're in your 30s, they're way younger than you. Leave them alone. She's playing a very young woman. Like, unless you're a 21-year-old who's into From, then, but this is my opinion, okay? That's just my opinion. So every time, I don't want to be, but every time I hear a comment like that, I have a list and I'll put you on the list. I'm just kidding. But yeah, I give you side eye. I'm like, I give you side eye because Kenny is not looking at that girl in that way. And that's kind of, it does make me a little bit like, I don't know about that, because you are looking at Kenny's character as Kenny's character can be manipulated to do something horrid like that.
Kenny has more honor than that. Kenny has more dignity than that. Kenny,
if you're a good person,
Kenny's a stand-up guy.
Nothing could make you do something bad like that.
And Kenny does seem like he is a stand-up guy. He seems like he was raised right. He seems like he's learned so much from being under Boyd's tutelage. Kenny has learned so much from Boyd about how to be a man. So yeah, I mean, you just don't see Kenny's character ever doing something like that. And and for me, like Heather was saying in the chat earlier, one thing that I really do like about From is that there isn't an overabundance of quote unquote shipping and love stories. Like, yes, we have Ellis and Fatima. Yes, we had Jim and Tabitha. But for the most part, these are characters that are trying to survive in a nightmarish landscape. They're not thinking about falling in love with someone else in town, or at least I imagine most of them aren't. And that's one thing I've really enjoyed about the show. The show doesn't really throw a whole lot of quote unquote love stories at us. It's much more about these characters trying to live here, trying to survive here, trying to find a way to get out, and solving some of these mysteries along the way. So that is one thing I am glad that the show doesn't dive like super deep into. So many shows nowadays are just like so focused on characters falling in love with each other. And every once in a while, I like to have a story like this where the story is focused only on the story and on the characters and their journeys and what they're going through, the trauma of it, the loneliness of it, the isolation of it. So that's one thing I've always really enjoyed about From. We don't get a ton of love stories, and I don't think we will. This is very much a story about survival at the end of the day. So I like that. Yeah. I like their approach to how they portray those characters, like you said. But yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, they're good people. These are children, The thing about Kenny, everybody wants a girlfriend for Kenny except Kenny. He doesn't want one, you guys.
Kenny,
he could go get one. Colony House is a free love space. If he wants somebody, he could have done it, you guys. Everybody wants a girlfriend for Kenny except for Kenny. He's not interested. And I think that that's totally okay because, he's just not in. When you have monsters, you're probably not in the mood to date around. But
and From 555 is a really good point here. It's better that way. Look what happened to the one guy who fell in love. He got 15 people killed. No time for love. Yeah, when Kevin fell in love with one of the monsters, look at the devastation. That is very much a cautionary tale of falling in love in Fromville. Don't do it. You don't want to do it. This is about survival. So yeah, good point.
Yeah. And you know what I like? That's exactly what I was going to talk about. What I like about that From 555 is that he got what was coming to him. Every time I see
70s porn
he starts kissing the monster, Jasmine, and she tears off his tongue and she smiles because she's really happy about it. She's like smiling. I always think, yes, Jasmine, get him, girl, because have some dignity, dude. It's like
you're living in a house full. You're living in like practically an orgy house. Yet you need to look outside for monsters to get laid. What is wrong with you, 70s porn stash, dude? Why? How come nobody in Colony House wanted you?
It's like have some dignity. Some things are just things to have a concept of and not to engage sexually or romantically with, dude. Like some things are just not a romantic option. Have some dignity. Give the damn monster some dignity too. You know what I mean? Like it really shows your character when you are like, there's humans here that are down, but I'm totally gonna make little bouquets for the monster. And
Yeah.
let me
Yeah.
tell you something, okay? We're gonna go dark here. We're gonna go
Uh-oh.
dark, and I'm gonna
Let's
tell you
not
why
go
I
too
don't
dark.
like that guy.
Let's not go too dark.
I'm gonna go dark if I want to, Jeremy. Um, just kidding. Okay.
No, good.
That guy, 70s porn stash, what you call him, right?
He's 70s porn stash dude,
He
yeah.
wanted, my theory is that he wanted to be with Jasmine, not despite her being a monster, but because she was a monster. Meaning, it's not, I fell in love with you despite you being a monster. It was, I fell in love with you and I would really like to be with you. And we get an inkling of that because he tells her once he's like hugging her, I thought you would be cold, which means mentally he's been thinking, how does Jasmine feel? And he thought she would be cold, and she's not. He mentions that she's not cold, she's warm to touch. So it's like, dude, you're such a freak. You wanted to be with the monster and you were thinking, oh, they're probably going to be cold and like what it would be like to be with her. You're a freak, dude.
A little bit of a freak, as Yassine brings up. I mean, he was brave enough to try and sleep with a monster. I guess that takes a little bit of bravery, maybe, but he's also kind of crazy too. And yeah, I mean, 70s porn stash dude. That's just what we got. That's just what I've always called him. He very much, that's what he looks like, 70s porn stash dude. But yeah. Like you said, I'm really glad that From doesn't lean into a whole lot of that too much. That there's not a whole lot of like love stories going around. It's very much more focused on the story, these characters, this journey that they're on, finding answers, trying to find a way out. I'm glad that the show focuses on that, and we don't have a bunch of love stories going around. Not every show needs a bunch of love stories, unfortunately. It just doesn't. So I'm glad that they stay away from that kind of stuff. Glad that the show focuses more on the survival aspect.
Yeah, and you know what? You and me have talked about this, but the time that we did have a love story, they wanted us to be really interested in the love story between Ellis
it
and
just
Fatima.
fell flat, right? Christy and Marielle?
No, Ellis and Fatima, the ones that had the baby and got married and got proposed to. And
That one also fell flat too. I mean, it's just...
we were supposed to be like super happy when he gets down on one knee and he proposes with the homemade ring. I just thought, we have things to do, dude. Like, I don't want to see them get engaged. Who cares? Let's go back to Boyd fighting this monster. Like, it was almost like they were taking time away. That happened in the finale. And Donna, remember, is like, you need to walk your son or watch your son get married, and he walks her down the aisle. It's like, dude, you're taking time away from him. Like, he's in the middle
shit.
of fighting the ballet dancer, and he has worms and all this stuff. And you're like, yeah, can you walk me down the aisle? It's like, dude, you couldn't have done it any other time, but okay.
Yeah, and Blitzkrieg has a point here. You know, Kenny and Christy, the town doesn't allow happy relationships, so we'll find a way to tear them apart. Yeah, we saw that happen with Kenny and Christy, and even when Marielle showed up eventually, and Christy was reunited with her fiance, we saw how kind of bad that relationship's been going ever since she arrived. That's definitely don't seem like they're on cloud nine. But yeah, just. I'm glad that the show focuses a little bit more on the story, the characters' journeys, the survival aspect of From, rather than just trying to ship a bunch of characters. But let's continue on this episode 3 trailer. After we see that, and of course, we also see after Acosta and Boyd, the scene of Acosta and Boyd, we see this. It looks like this scene is going to be coming in episode 3 as well. Now, I'm sure most of us have already seen this scene in the season 4 trailer. This was one of the big scenes in the season 4 trailer. We see Boyd is visiting his wife, Abby, and something reaches up from the ground and grabs him. And though we can't see it here, there's actually 2 arms that reach up from beneath the ground and grab Boyd. It's not just the one. There's a second arm, and they start pulling him down. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing this scene as well. You know, Boyd hasn't really visited Abby in a little while. I feel like it's been a few episodes since he's went out to the field and visited her. And with all of the recent revelations that have just happened at the end of season 3 and the beginning of season 4 with Fatima, Smiley being reborn, Jim being dead, I feel like now is a good time for Boyd to go out there and visit Abby again, because I feel like this is like it's like his compass. I feel like Abby is, even though she's dead, she's still very much his constant in a way. where I feel like this is the one place he can go to kind of like really be himself and really like just ask the tough questions. What should I do, Abs? Should I take this shot? If you tell me to swing, I'll swing. And sometimes he even looks for a sign from her. So I'm looking forward to seeing Boyd go back to Abby's grave again. I mean, it looks like it's going to end pretty dark, but I'm looking forward to seeing how this scene's going to play out.
Yeah. Well, originally, I immediately, when I saw him walking to the grave, I remember that he likes to do updates on their son.
Yeah.
He has
Our son
then
got
when he got
married.
engaged,
Yeah.
when he was expecting a child. So now that the baby or not baby has been born, he's due for that update, right? Because he lets her know everything. So it would be, total, it would make sense that he would go over there and tell her, like, there was a pod and then it grew and then it smiled the way that he just grew.
The way he
And
describes
it
it.
grew. Yeah. Then it
was funny.
smiled. Yeah.
Yeah. No, he
So-
did. He described it super funny in that first episode, right? Like when he's up he's like, there was a pod and then it grew.
It grew.
Like, what? It grew. He's
And,
like, no, he's not saying that she gave birth to one of those things, right, Dad? It's like, yeah.
And then it smiled. Then it smiled.
God. Yeah, that's hilarious. But no, I think you're right. I think you're right. I think he's due for an update with Abs to kind of tell her everything that Ellis has been through, what Fatima has been through, what he's learned about the monsters, what he's learned about this place, because that's a big piece of information that he now knows. Like, for a long time, Boyd has been counting that as their one win. The one win we've gotten this whole time is I was actually able to kill one of these things. And now that's been taken away. So yeah, I think that it's very much fitting for him to kind of visit Abs after that and maybe look for a little bit of guidance and update her on Ellis. Yeah, I think you're right. But yeah, looking forward to seeing this scene. I guess it'll be interesting to see like what's really going on here. Is this just a vision that Boyd's having? It is probably just a vision, or Fromville playing with Boyd. I don't think this is really his wife reaching out from her grave, obviously, but it'll be interesting to see nonetheless. Nonetheless. And last but not least, we also have this scene between Julie and Sophia.
Are you kidding me? I didn't mean to upset you. I'm sorry. What did you mean to do then? Julie, stop.
Okay, so it looks like we have some sort of altercation between Julie and Sophia inside the diner in this episode. And, there's been a lot of interesting theories and suggestions going around as to what might start this. We know that Sophia, part of her cover was that she arrived here with her dad, and we saw that her dad just died. So, could this be Sophia trying to bond with Julie over both of them just losing their father? Like, and maybe she says something that crosses the line. It should be interesting, I guess. I'm looking forward to seeing where they're going to go with this, even though I do have my certain small reservations about the direction of the Man in Yellow character and where they went with it. I am still looking forward to seeing where it's going to go. But yeah, what do you guys think's happening here with Julie and Sophia?
Well, I think that Sophia is up to her bullshit. Sophia does this thing where she will say something bad, and then immediately she tries to be that person, that religious person that is half, what do they call it in English? Glass half full?
Glass half full, yep.
Yes. Yep. So the positivity person where you're like, oh, I lost my job. Well, at least you had one at once upon a time. It's like she will say something so out of pocket and be so positive. Yeah. And it's offensive. And she's done it before. For example, when she said to Sarah, it's kind of nice that all these things are here. Are those all the people that have been here? So clearly those people died. Yeah. Those people died. It's like a part of them is still here. She thinks that that's a sweet thing, but anybody else that has been from, that would be offensive. It's like, no, I hope that they're released, that in death, they are not still here in this place where we were trying to get out. Like, what the hell are you talking about, Sophia?
Yeah.
So she's
if anything, they're hoping they go with them when they leave. When we leave, you'll come too, type thing.
She's going to do the same thing to Julie. she's gonna say something out of pocket where it's gonna be like, oh, my dad died too, but at least they're in heaven now, at least they're not suffering and
Yes.
they're with
At least they're
God.
not.
You
Yep.
know,
Yep.
Jesus keeps them
Totally.
in their heart, because she's, that Jesus girl. She's
Yep.
gonna be like, Jesus, at least they're in heaven looking down upon us with Jesus. And she's gonna be like, she's not gonna have it.
She ain't gonna be
Because
here.
for Julie, she knows that, there's a possibility of her saving him. And when people placate you with the idea of it's okay that they're dead, they're not suffering now, it's like trying to dissuade you from wanting them to be here, to exist in this plane, right? And then you don't never know what people believe. But sometimes the first thing that happens when somebody that you love dies is some person will come out of nowhere and will tell you, rejoice, for they're in heaven with our Lord and they are not suffering anymore. And it's like,
and
okay, that
Julie's
helps
just,
you, dude. That helps
doesn't
you,
help
but it
me.
doesn't help me. Yeah.
And I think that's what we're going to see here. I think we're going to see Sophia attempting to try and bond with Julie over the death of both of their father, and she's going to say something out of pocket. She's going to say something that crosses the line, and with the intention of screwing with Julie. Obviously, she's not really trying to bond with her here. She's trying to screw with her. This is Sophia, the man in yellow, sowing these seeds of discord within the town. It's God's
right
plan.
here.
Yeah, I could totally see her saying
always go with God's plan, golden child.
God's plan.
Anything bad that happens, what's God has a plan. You just can't see it. But God has a plan for every negative thing that happens to you. And that doesn't help you at the moment. It doesn't help you. It doesn't bring you comfort.
And again, especially, we don't know much of Julie's background, but if she's not like, a believer, if she's not like a person of faith, that's not going to mean anything to her. She's not going to want to hear that right now. So yeah, again, I think we're going to continue to see
that's
Sophia
offensive.
kind of, we're going to continue to see Sophia kind of sowing the seeds of discord like that, with little reasons like that, little things like that. That's how she's going to try and tear the town apart. She's slowly kind of planting, deceit within the town and hoping that it'll grow.
I think a golden child is right verbatim, because Sophia's line is, I didn't mean to offend you. And that is offensive. So I think golden child cracked it. I think that is literally the line she's going to use, because that is offensive. So it's like, you're telling me it's okay that my dad's dead. I could see that being the line, golden child. Let's come back and see if you're right.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to see. Yeah, and we are close. We are 30 minutes away now, guys. Just less than 30 minutes away from episode 3 hitting our screens. We are closer and closer now. And of course, when episode 3 does air, or a few minutes before episode 3 airs, a few minutes before midnight, I'll end this stream so we can all go watch it at midnight, right when it drops. And then as soon as I'm done watching it, I'm coming right back here and I'm firing up another live stream, and we are going to dive into episode 3 together. Unfortunately, we can't do the watch party this week because I still have to set up the Discord and boost it and do a bunch of things to make sure there's enough capacity for anybody who wants to go in there. We don't want it to be a 50-person only limit. That's not fair. We want everybody to be able to join in. So starting next week, the watch parties will be back on in the Discord, and anybody who wants to dive in there and watch it, you'll be more than welcome and free to. But this week, we are going to end this stream, again, just before midnight. Then we can all go, and those of us that are getting access to the episode at midnight can watch it. And then we will be doing an after show as soon as I'm done watching it. But if you don't have access to the episode right at midnight, PM and I are also doing another show tomorrow night, because we want to try to accommodate as many people as we possibly can. And that's even why Raven and I do another stream later on in the week for people that don't get it until Monday. So if you don't get it right at midnight, we'll definitely be doing another discussion tomorrow night and another one Thursday night, diving super deep into episode 3. So even if you can't catch this one, hopefully you can catch the next one, because again, we try to be as accommodating as we possibly can to all the time zones. But yeah, that is the plan for tonight. We'll end the stream in like 15 minutes or so, 20 minutes or so, and then we'll go watch episode 3, and then hopefully we see some of you guys come back in, join us for the episode 3 after show discussion. I think this one's going to be a good one. Episodes 1 and 2 of the season, they always tend to be like a shocking moment mixed with a lot of setup for that season. But now that we have kind of gotten to that point where we got the reveal of Jim's body in episode 2, the stage has kind of been set. Sophia is infiltrated the town now. I think from episode 3 on, we're going to continue to see this thing just pick up more and more every single week. I think we're going to see it get crazier and crazier and crazier. That's what I'm expecting. That's what I'm hoping for. And I'm looking forward to it. I am looking forward to it. I just love how we do these, and then I'll go watch it and then come back. I mean, we try to have as much fun as we can. And again, we love talking about this show. And I know not everybody has access to the episode right at midnight, and that's why the Discord watch parties that we host are beneficial for people that are maybe in another country or don't get it right away. So that will be available next week. I haven't set up the Discord yet. I have to get in there and boost it, set up stages, and do a few things, and I just haven't had time to do it yet. I have with everything else. So this will be the 1 week where we're just doing the pregame show, and then we'll end it. We'll all go watch it, and then I'll fire up another stream probably at like 1 o'clock in the morning, an hour after the episode drops. So everyone will have time to watch it right after it drops, and then come back and join us for the after show discussion. And of course, if you can't catch this one tonight, we'll also be live tomorrow night again, diving into the episode. And starting next week from episode 4 on, we will continue our watch parties right in the Discord. So if you guys want to pop in there and watch it, if you don't have access to it right away, you'll be able to do so from episode 4 on. But I'm looking forward to it. I am looking forward to it. I'm super excited for episode 3. Super, super excited for episode 3. I think this is going to be a good one. And we did see from the synopsis, it looks like this is going to be the episode where Victor and Ethan team up as well. We know Victor and Ethan are going to be teaming up for some sort of quest based on what we've seen from the episode synopsis. And it looks like this is going to be that episode where we see Victor and Ethan team up. So I'm looking forward to that. What exactly are we going to find out about Victor and the Man in Yellow? What kind of relationship? What kind of encounter? How exactly does Victor know of the Man in Yellow? Looks like we're going to find that out tonight. So I am very, very much looking forward to that. Bring on the Victor and Ethan quest. Bring it on. Here's our guys. Yeah, it looks like they're going to be going on this quest tonight, and it looks like they're going to stumble upon the Man in Yellow suit out in the woods, and it looks like that might lead Victor on the path to finding that Man in Yellow drawing, and maybe even with it some sort of memory coming back to him. So I'm looking forward. I am very much looking forward to episode 3. I think it's going to be good. Episode 4, I'm really looking forward to as well. Just based off the synopsis and the episode titles, I believe episode 4 is the one that's titled Of Gods and Monsters. And I'm looking forward to that one. Just based on the synopsis, it looks like that's like the beginning of Jade and Boyd's teaming up. So I cannot wait for the rest of the season. I cannot wait to see where it's going to go. This show has been incredibly fun so far. Hell yeah, it's damn good. And but we're only 2 episodes in, guys. We still got 8 episodes to look forward to. And I'm so glad From hasn't shortened their seasons. I mean, how many times have we seen that where shows are kind of just shorting their seasons more and more from 12 to 10 to 8 to even 6 episodes? But From has stayed consistent. They've done 10 episodes every single season. And I imagine they'll probably do 10 again for the final season next year. So here we are, guys. This ride is only just getting started. We still have 8 episodes to look forward to. 8 more hours of From season 4. Hell yes. Bring it on. The lore continues.
Yeah. It's so exciting. And I'm really hoping, because I'm getting frustrated with Victor. I've told you this. I know that you love Victor, and I love that for you, but I am getting frustrated with him. I'm like, oh my God. If he doesn't behave, he's going to be the next one on the torture chair, because he needs to give some info. I'm really hoping that he tells him exactly who the Man in Yellow is. We know that he's digging up some drawings. So is that going to happen in this episode? And if it is he going to tell the authorities? Go tell the authorities, go tell Boyd, go tell the people that need to know, right? Because I'm really getting frustrated with him. He's on my last nerve. I know you love him, but the whole trauma, it's like, dude, Victor, come on, we're going to kill your daddy if you don't say something, Victor. Say something to us.
Yeah. No, I get that. I do. I can understand, some people maybe having a little bit of frustration with Victor for him not being a little more forthcoming. yeah, it's like, you kind of want to get the answers. But me, I'm okay waiting, I guess. I mean, but I can understand it. It's like, come on, Victor, just tell us already. So I get that. I definitely get that. But yeah, should be a fun episode. Should be a fun episodes. Yeah, I don't think YouTubers lets you stream on here like that. It doesn't, unfortunately. Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, unfortunately, if I could play the episode right on here, I would do that in a heartbeat for you guys. Legally, I'm just not allowed to do that. That could get my entire channel deleted off of YouTube, or at very least copyright stricken. So it's highly illegal to do that. I mean, they let us play trailers and clips and stuff like that, short clips. They let us do that. But we can't play full episodes on YouTube. It's just not allowed. It's highly illegal. It'll get the channel in a lot of trouble. And that's just not something I can risk, unfortunately. If it was allowed, I would do it. If I was allowed to play the whole episode right up here, I would do it every single week right here for everybody to see. I wish I could do that. But unfortunately, the next best thing that I can do is play it in our Discord. And that's what we'll be doing from episode 4 on. Starting next week, we'll be playing episode 4 in the Discord when it drops. So people will have a place to watch it, a viewing party, as it were. But that's the reason why I can't play it out. In case anybody else was wondering, that's the reason why I can't play it here on YouTube. It's very, very, very big no-no, unfortunately. Big no-no. But the episode is releasing very soon. Again, if you are a member of MGM Plus directly through MGM Plus, not through Amazon, and you live in the States, you will be getting access to the episode in 20 minutes. 20 minutes from now, episode 3 will be available. We only have 20 more minutes, ladies and gentlemen, 20 more minutes to wait. And I'm looking forward to it. I am looking forward to episode 3. But seeing as we already dissected the episode 3 trailer, I'll play it one more time through and through so people can see all of it without the pause. So without further ado, here is another encore viewing of the episode 3 trailer.
You're getting so close now, but I'm afraid you're running out of time.
You remind me of someone I could have helped. Abby, stop! I don't get to get that back.
Are you kidding me? I didn't mean to upset you. I'm sorry. What did you mean to do then? Julie, stop. Finding the lighthouse could be what gets everyone home.
It's not.
I don't know. I'll try something else.
Not if you're dead.
No,
I know.
Oof, man, oh man, it is looking good. Again, I think episode 3 is going to be fun. I'm a little bit worried for Henry. Is Tabitha going to accidentally push his ass into that fucking faraway tree? Is Henry going to be in a little bit of danger here? Again, no, I do not know, but I am a little bit worried for Henry's longevity. Tabitha, please don't push Henry into that freaking tree. Please do not accidentally push that man into that tree and have him end up like Dale. Hopefully we don't see that. And of course, I am looking forward to seeing the boy in white, or, the teen in white, or again, as I like to say, the about to have his first beer in white, considering how old he looks. I am looking forward to seeing him. We got some interesting dialogue here just in the trailer alone, him telling Tabitha that you're getting close, but you are running out of time. It is getting urgent. The clock is starting to tick. The beginning of the end is very much here. And we'll see. We will see if our characters are able to solve this and break the cycle before they are ultimately consumed by this place. Will they win? Will they lose? Who will survive? Who will die? How will Fromville end? I don't know, but I am very much looking forward to it.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? I'm getting like the outfit that he wears was so cute when he was little, because it's this
not
little
as much anymore, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not as much anymore. He looks like he's part of like the country club. He's giving country club private school because he has the side, hair and the very like button up shirt. He's giving, I go to private school. I'm a member of the country club and the Young Republicans of America. And he's giving that sort of vibe, right?
Yeah.
I was going to say something, but never mind.
But maybe this is it. Maybe the producers just didn't really want to recast the role. Maybe they just really liked this actor and they just didn't want to recast the role. I can understand that. in hindsight, I think they should have recast the role maybe because like some of the reasons that PM is mentioning, something about the character of the boy in white kind of only works when he's a boy in white. Once he starts to get a little bit older, I feel like a little bit of the mystique of the character, a little bit of the mysteriousness of the character kind of fades. He's not as mysterious anymore. He's not as mystical anymore, I guess you could say. So yeah, and maybe the producers just really like the actor and they just didn't want to recast. But and hindsight's always 20/20, of course. We'll see. We shall see. Boy, it looks like he sells Progressive insurance. Yes, Golden Child. Yeah, I could picture him in an Allstate commercial. What's in your wallet? If he has one of
that all white outfit,
what is in your wallet? I would not be fucking surprised whatsoever.
Because Flo wears the white outfit that she wears with the little thing. It's all white. He totally does look like he could. Like, do you have a minute to talk about your car insurance? Do you have a minute to talk about your car insurance from house to house? Can I interest you in a new policy today?
Can I interest you in a new policy?
You could bundle your home, car, and auto. I used to work for Progressive, you guys.
Good stuff, Golden Child.
Fun fact, I used to work for Progressive, so I know all of his scripting. They also offer boat insurance. He could offer Boyd a good policy on boat insurance.
A good insurance.
Bundle now.
Package. I got a good insurance package for you right here. Step into my office.
You're
right.
School.
You're absolutely right, Golden Child. You nailed it. He looks like a freaking Progressive insurance salesman. He does. He fucking does. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. And yeah, at least the show tried to give us an explanation as to why the boy in white was aging, because that was, it's one thing to have him age like this and them not address it. That's a little too egregious. So at least they tried to write something into the actual script to explain why the boy in white is getting older now. We hear him say everything is changing now, even him. So, again, they tried to put a narrative. Oh, sorry. They tried to put a narrative reason in there for him getting older, but again, it seems like they just threw that line in there just to kind of justify that he's gotten a little bit bigger, which I get. They want some continuity, some kind of continuing continuity. I get it, but yeah, he's progressive. He's a progressive agent at this point. I boosted the server. Can you click on the button for level 2? Oh, thank you. Wow. Yeah, I will definitely do that as soon as I end this. Wow. Thank you, Michael. That's incredibly generous of you. You did not have to do that. You did not have to do that. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to boost it as many times as it needs to be boosted tomorrow. But thank you so much. Wow. Thank you so much for that. I will definitely get in there and I will click on what I need to click on my end. But first, I owe you a glitter bomb, my friend. I owe you a glitter bomb. Awesome stuff, guys. Awesome stuff. And yeah, you could be growing because the cycle, I feel like many cycles have come to an end. So I don't know if it's so much that the cycle is coming to an end. I think it might be because, like you said, Fromville is changing now. And I think that's because this cycle is getting closer to solving this than any cycle previously. I think that could have a reason to do with why he's aging, why he's growing now when he never did for all the previous cycles, because this cycle, they're actually making progress. This cycle, they're actually getting close to maybe solving this thing. And as Fromville changes, seems like the boy in white is changing along with it. And we even talked a little bit about how that could explain why the man in yellow looks different now than when he was first portrayed. When we first see the man in yellow, we see him in paintings. But in the paintings, we notice he looks incredibly young. Like his suit doesn't look all messy. He looks young. He has black hair here. His hair isn't even gray. Like the first painting we see of the man in yellow, he looks very young. Then when we see him on the show, he's a lot older. His hair's gray. He's all disheveled. And, you start to wonder, did something similar happen to the man in yellow that is happening to the boy in white now? Is this place changing? And with it, they are changing as well. Maybe that could explain why the man in yellow, the two different appearances of the man in yellow, why he looks so young in all the paintings and why he looks so old now in person. Maybe he's changing too.
Well, I used to think that perhaps they were the cycle that got the furthest in the game. However, I have since changed my mind with the new information that we got directly from Sophia. She says, this is my favorite part. I wish that this part would last forever, meaning I've done this exact thing. I've gotten this far before. And this is where I have most of my fun, which means that other cycles have gotten to the point where they infiltrate the
Where the
town and they
reincarnations
watch
have
them.
gotten memories back.
Exactly.
It's possible. It's possible.
He's like, I wish that you could see this. This is my favorite part. They rip each other apart, right? So that means I've been through this before. We've gotten this far. But I think where they're going to break the cycle is Sophia is expecting them to tear each other apart because that's how it always
And
ends.
this
That's as
cycle
far
won't.
as, and they won't because they're better people.
This is
They're
a
people
different
that work
cycle.
together. So I think they just have to make it over that hurdle where she tries to divide the town, tries to manipulate them. They just need to make it over that hurdle.
Yeah, they have to find a way to make it through this and survive this onslaught. And maybe this cycle in particular just happens to have the right pieces in the right place at the right time where previous cycles didn't have this. And maybe that's why we're seeing the boy in white change now. Maybe that's why the man in yellow could also be changing. But yeah, no, I definitely get the sense that this is going to be the cycle that gets further than any other. Will they break the cycle? Will they actually complete the quest and save the children and all go home? I don't know. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. But it definitely seems like this cycle has the best chance, at least, of breaking the cycle. And we'll find out. We will find out. We are just 10 minutes away now. That is right. 10 minutes away from episode 3. So yeah, pretty soon here in a few minutes, I will end the stream. But I already have a stream up for our episode 3 breakdown, which again is set for about an hour or so from now. So as soon as episode 3 drops, whoever wants to watch it, whoever has access to watching it right at midnight, watch it when it drops, and then come back here and join us an hour later, and we will be diving head first into episode 3 and everything that comes with it. Here is the link. I will pin it in the chat. This is the link to our episode 3 after show. Our after show discussion is going live in 1 hour after the episode premieres. So here we go, folks. We are close. We are very, 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 very close now. The episode will be dropping in 9 minutes now. It is officially 11:51 on the East Coast. So we are 9 minutes away from episode 3 hitting our screens. And then, of course, as soon as it does, I'm going to watch it. And then I will be coming right back here and doing a live after show breakdown discussion. And hopefully some of you guys come and join us for that. I know not everybody always has access to it right at midnight, and that sucks, unfortunately. I wish we could do more so everybody could watch it. And again, starting next week from episode 4 on, we will be doing live watch parties right in the Discord where anybody that wants to join can join. This is the only week where we're not doing the watch party because I wasn't able to get the Discord set up in time. You have to boost it and set up stages and all of this. And Ravener is going to be handling that for the most part. So from episode 4 on, starting next week, from episode 4 on, we will be streaming the episodes right in the Discord, right when they premiere. So even if you don't get it at midnight, you'll at least be able to watch it with us in there. But this week we don't have it set up, so this will be the only week I'm not doing the watch party, pretty much. But I appreciate each and every one of you for joining us for this awesome pregame show. You guys always make these streams so much freaking fun, and I cannot thank each and every one of you for all of the support that you guys send in during these streams. We got a new member in EM. We got some super chats. Thank you, Samuel. Thank you, Nikki. Thank you, Katrina. Thank you, Diana. Very much appreciate all the super chats tonight. Very, very much. Thank you, guys. And yeah, here we go. Episode 3 is just around the corner now. We are 8 minutes away from it loading up on MGM Plus. So I'm going to get ready to end this stream. And again, as soon as we're done watching episode 3, we will be right back here diving into all things episode 3 after show discussion. Here is the link one more time for the link to our episode 3 breakdown stream. But you ready, PM? You ready for episode 3? You guys in the chat, are you ready for episode 3?
Yes, I am so ready. I'm gonna go get my hot Cheetos, and I can't wait. I like to refresh, like to be there at 8:58 and just refresh until it's there.
Yeah.
So excited. In fact, I need to go.
Go ahead. You go get ready. I'll close this out. You go ahead. And of course, if you guys have not subbed to PM's channel, definitely head over there and give her a sub as well. The link to her YouTube channel is in the description of this stream. You can find her link right there. Head over there and give her a sub. But yeah, here we are, folks. 7 minutes away. We are just 7 minutes away from episode 3 hitting our screens. And again, let's go. Oh, wow, only one more boost needed. Wow, again, big thank you to anybody who's boosting the Discord. And again, if I mean, I haven't gotten in touch with Ravener, so I can't ask him to just, in 2 seconds to get in there and run one. But if somebody does want to run the episode in the Discord, you guys are all welcome. Everybody that's in the Discord, every single one of you has access to streaming the episode on your own. It doesn't need to be a moderator or anybody. I literally made it so everybody has access to run any watch party they want. So if Thomas, if you're up for running it and it's possible, you're more than welcome to do that. If not, I do totally understand because I know it's kind of last minute. But if not, again, we will definitely be streaming episode 4 and beyond in the Discord right there. So you guys can hop on in there and watch all the new episodes right when they drop, starting from episode 4 on. But unfortunately, we just didn't have no Discord party tonight. Like I wasn't able to set up the Discord watch party tonight because I got to get in there and boost it a bunch of times, and I wanted to give Ravener a chance to set up the stages. So we won't be doing a watch party tonight, again, unless someone can get in there and stream it themselves, which you guys are more than welcome to. But if not, again, from episode 4 on next week, we'll be doing live watch parties right in that Discord, where anybody wants to pop in will pop in. There won't be a limit. The only reason why we didn't want to do it is because last week stages wasn't working and there was a limit. There was a limit to only 50 people being allowed, and we had like close to 200 people that wanted to get in there, and that's not fair. I mean, if I'm going to do it, I want it to be available to everybody and anybody who wants to be in there. I definitely don't want there to be a cutoff, so that's why we didn't do it this week, so we would have time to boost the server during the week and make sure that anybody could go in there that wanted to. We would be at, I think the limit would be like 1,000 people you can hold, which I doubt we'll ever get more than that. But starting next week from episode 4 on, we will be streaming the episodes right in the Discord. So if you guys don't have access to the episodes right at midnight like the rest of us, you'll at least still have a place where you can go in and watch it with everybody else from episode 4 on. But here we go, folks. We are just 4 minutes away now, so I am going to close this down. But if anyone is a member of MGM Plus, a direct subscriber to MGM Plus, then you will also have access to the episode in 4 or 5 minutes from now. Midnight Eastern Standard Time on Saturday night is always when the new episodes drop, if you are a paid member of MGM Plus and you live in the States. Unfortunately, if you are a subscriber through Amazon drops it 3 hours later. So if anyone is subscribed to MGM through Amazon, my advice would be subscribe directly to MGM, not through Amazon. Just go directly to MGM, and you too will also have access to the episodes right at midnight. But yeah, there it is, folks. There it is, folks. I'm going to end this now, and hopefully you guys come back and hang out with us again about an hour from now. I will be firing up another live stream, and we will be diving headfirst into season 4, episode 3, and I cannot wait to hear each and every one of you guys' takes on it. So until next time, stay safe, ladies and gentlemen. Keep those tinfoil hats on, folks, and I will see those of you that come to join us for the after show. I will see you in about an hour. Until next time, stay safe, ladies and gents. I will throw the link to the Discord in the chat. That way anyone wants to join the Discord and be ready for our watch parties next week, you guys will have access to it. I'll throw the link in the chat during the outro. A big thank you to each and every one of you, and I will see you guys for the after show in a little bit. Cheers.
Okay, ding-dongs. If you don't subscribe to Jeremy Ice and Fire, you're going to spend the night in the box.
I can't hear you.
Well, no, I'm still live. Surprise, surprise, guys. I just looked into the Discord and it looks like Ravener is streaming the episode. I didn't have a chance to contact him before the stream because I was live, but it looks like Ravener is streaming the episode in stages. So if you guys do want to hop in the Discord and watch it in there, it looks like he is doing it. And I will throw the link to it in the chat right now. Here is the link to the watch party. So yeah, anybody, again, I wasn't sure if he was going to be doing it tonight because we didn't have the server boosted, but thanks to all of you rock stars in the chat, we had some rock stars in the chat PM that boosted the Discord before I even had a chance to do it. And it looks like Ravener saw that. And it looks like now Ravener is running a watch party. So, hey, I will throw the link to it in the chat. So if anybody wants to pop in there, it looks like Ravener is trying to get that watch party started, and everybody will have access to it.
You know what? That is how I watch it because I don't have MGM Plus through their app. I have it through the Amazon people.
Yeah.
And they used to, they used to treat us all fairly, but now everybody that has their app gets privileged. So that's actually how I watch it. I think it's great. I love that the chat was not going to let you get away with not having a watch party. Like, absolutely not. You were having one because you were having one, and I'm loving it. Yeah, we'll put the link in, and that's how I'm going to watch it.
Yeah, there it is. The link to the Discord is in the chat. All you got to do is click on that click on that link, and that should take you right to the watch party that Ravener is hosting. And afterwards, we will see you right here for our after show discussion. So link is in the chat. Click that link, guys. That will take you to the Discord, and we will see you for the after show. Cheers.
Okay, ding dongs. If you don't subscribe to Jeremy Ice and Fire, you're gonna spend the night in the box.
Aren't Cooey